make it? Am I on time? Did I make it? I think I made it. It's 12 o'clock. It's 12 o'clock. We made it to 12 o'clock. I can't believe we made it to 12 o'clock. I'm going to be high energy and low energy at random and inexplicable intervals. Something happened to me, or I did something to myself starting around Tuesday this week, where I had some intestinal disfortitude, let's say, of the type where the whole factory shuts down. Just everything shuts down. So you start to feel like a human keg. You're just filled with pressure. And that continued until where we are now. It hasn't officially passed. I am still... Oh, because you took it easy, right? No, not at all. Between Tuesday and today, I filmed 9 videos? 9 videos or 10? 9 or 10 videos in that amount of time. And, as was indicated in the description of this, you basically can't go out onto the course after, like, 11 a.m. is a hard cut. At 10 a.m., it will be in the 90s. This morning, it was 80 degrees at 8 a.m. and 100 by about 10:45. Luckily, did I see Mr. Truitt's name on here? Luckily, Mr. Truitt was kind enough to drop off a good old Master Cool, the same one that we use to cool the whole house, only it's only being piped into this little establishment, all 625 square feet / roughly 6,500 cubic feet. So right in the wheelhouse of a cooler of that size. And let me tell you something. It is 79 degrees in here. It is 79 degrees in here, and it's like 104 outside. So that thing is doing fantastic. I hope you all are doing fantastic as well. I filmed 2 videos this morning, which means I probably forgot to do a bunch of stuff that I would ordinarily have been doing first thing on a Friday morning. And I don't know. I'm definitely doing better today than I was on Tuesday and Wednesday. Also, I'd like to share additional laments with people that I think can relate. Have you ever tried to buy a chair off the internet? God, it sucks. I'm like 1 for 5 in purchasing. I have a 200 batting average in buying chairs off of the internet, because you look at them, and here's why you look at chairs on the internet. Well, first, you try to be a normal human being, and you drive to whichever one is still open in your neck of the woods, whether it be a Staples or an Office Depot. We don't have any Staples around here anymore. We've got a Office Depot. So I was like, oh, I'll go sit in some office chairs and I'll see which one tickles my fancy. I would say that the average office chair in stock at an Office Depot is about the cost of a Element Ecto RTR. So, to put more clearly, an office chair is about the price of a whole rig. I cannot, under any circumstances, get myself to spend $400 to $500 on a chair. I do spend a decent amount of time sitting in that chair editing. I bought one just recently. It is fantastic for editing videos, but it has so much lumbar support. It has so much lower back support that when I sit in that chair normally, I wish I had an action figure to bend. When I sit in that chair normally, so I'm sitting in the chair and my feet are on the ground like this, and I'm typing away, the back of the chair is like this. Like, I have to lean my body all the way. Like, I have to lean like this to be touching the back of the chair. And then it's thrusting my pelvis for you have to sit bolt straight with your feet flat on the ground. Otherwise, the chair is wildly uncomfortable. Oh, now I know, Rob. Yeah. I mean, Herman Miller is a thing. You can buy a $4,000 office chair. You can buy a $6,000 office chair. What I'm saying is I'm not the guy that spends $500 on an office chair. I'm the guy that's happy $150 to $250. That's a good range. My last office chair, which had to be replaced because the part on which you apply your hindquarters, the padding had completely smithereened, and you basically felt like you were sitting on the plastic form that made the bottom of the chair. It was fine. I would fall asleep. Oh, and the armrests were just demolished. I would fall asleep in that chair all the time. I don't have a problem with falling asleep in a chair 10, 15 minutes. I haven't fallen asleep in a chair since since the current chair showed up. You're telling me of all the things Costco carries, they don't carry office chairs. My Costco has a single chair in it, and they're one of those little, like, what would go up against a boardroom table. Like the back of the chair comes up to like mid-back. I need a chair that has like a full headrest on it. They have one, but Costco online does have an array of chairs. So I tried to, we're either going to increase or decrease my batting average because I ordered another chair off of the internet, and I tried as hard as I could not to do that, but I somewhat acquiesced because I ordered it from Costco online, which means if that chair is terrible, I just return it to the Costco down the street. So, pro bonus. A racing chair is just an awful idea. The chair design is to keep you in place around tight corners, not sitting at a desk. Yeah. We need to get a Deluxe or Vanquish in the office chair game so we can brag on how much we spent on a chair. I think that's Herman Miller now. Because, like, the entry-level chair is like $1,000. But there is something to it. Do you have IKEA in the U.S.? Yeah. I have tried, as a matter of fact, we only just very recently, down here at the end of the bench, there was an IKEA chair. And that chair was my computer chair, and then it was passed on to my son, and then my son got one of those gaming chairs, so we took it out and we put it out here. The way that IKEA had made the arms, the back and the base were attached together by this hoop-shaped arm that did not have a thick enough cross-section, so if you leaned back in the chair, they would snap. So I took plywood and I made these L brackets that bolted on with giant 8x35 bolts that held the chair together, and that chair sat down at the end of this bench and was doing serviceably well for years and years until the blind guy decided to try his hand at buying office chairs, ordered an office chair for his new computer setup at home, and it's so big, it's so wide, it's like an executive chair, it's so wide it won't fit under his desk. So he brought it over here, and now it lives at the end of the bench, and I gave the IKEA chair away. I have a terrible spinal column. It is a betrayal on every level. So if I sit in that old IKEA chair for any period of time, it will effectively cripple me. Like I'll have to roll off onto the ground and then roll my way into the next room. So I need some amount of support, but not the torturous amount of support that the chair that's sitting in there right now. So my youngest sits in the office chair prior to this one. I requested one for my birthday, got one for my birthday, sat in it once and knew immediately, absolutely not. So the youngest was like, I'll take it. So for my birthday, they got a chair. And my wife will probably get this one. She sits up straight. So hopefully. And then my other Costco chair will be here tomorrow with fingers crossed that it won't be absolutely brutal. I'm tempted to dust off the old chair and just put a cushion on the bottom, like throw an old flat pillow on it. Get a patio, some patio. You know, they got those little super thin outdoor cushions. Throwing those cushions on that chair and initiate the cycle all over again. Isn't that how it is when you're a dad? Yeah. You other people getting stuff for your birthday is pretty much the speed of things, I think. So at all of that combined, a chair that if I sit in, I forgot about the best part about the current chair. If I sit in it and sit at just the correct recline angle, and by the correct recline angle, I mean obviously the completely wrong one, my legs below the knees start to go numb. So it's doing like a pressure point thing on me. The chair is the perfect, it's the perfect length of seat to like pinch the nerve and put my legs to sleep. I have the issue that the chair needs to hold 250. It seems like most of them say that they'll hold up to 350. But I find that it's not about the weight carrying capacity. It's about, like, I understand. When they're making chairs to a universal dimension. It's just supposed to fit people. But I would say that a 5'2" woman and a 6 tall man are probably going to sit comfortably in different chairs. And it's just, I don't want to shop for chairs on Amazon. I want to go to a store. And to someone who mentioned IKEA, we had IKEA previously. I've gone to IKEA. I've sat in every single chair and was like, nope. Like, what's with the back angle? Some of them are way too straight up. Some of them are like that. So the head, like if the one that's in there right now, I had to steal a pillow off the sofa. One of those little decorative pillows is only about that big. Because if I lean all the way back, my head, like, you're not like this to touch the headrest. You're like this to touch the headrest. Like your chin is past your chest. And I'm like, did anybody sit in this chair before they were like, ship it? It feels like the answer to that is no. Did you get the remote to work for the swamp cooler? It works I'm sorry. Mr. Trude asked if I got the remote to work for the swamp cooler. The swamp cooler remote works sort of. It'll work from about 4 feet away about 30% of the time. I put fresh batteries in it. But I don't want to call anybody out in front of 75 other people. So let's just say getting that cooler operating. I started working on that cooler at about 9:30, between 9:30 and 10 a.m. And it was on it's on the west face of the building, so it stays in shade longer because the sun is moving. So if this is the building, the sun is moving over here. So it's not over here roasting you until about 4 in the afternoon. I got that thing turned on with power just after 4, about 4:15 p.m. And I had to make 3 trips to the Lowe's to get that cooler running. But I have no complaints about that cooler right now because, as I said, it was 79.3 when we started, and we're down to 79.1. So if it can keep it 79 in here, 79 is pretty comfy. What do you get the most money from, Croc Canyon? I thought you said membership. Yeah, Stephen, it is memberships. Memberships are 60% of all channel income, right around 60%. Particularly now in the doldrums of summer. The last half of June, all of July, all of August, and usually all of September, but sometimes it'll kind of kick a little early depending on how the weather goes in the rest of the world. But July, August, and September, the views are way down. Irwin is like wherever, Italy, whatever. I assume a lot of people are out places doing things. Like the number of people that show up in the lives is smaller by almost the exact same amount of reduction. There's this like, right around 20%. There's like a 20% reduction overall, except in terms of, well, June threw us all off with the no membership gifting in June, and then the algorithm betraying. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to everyone. It is a fantastic Friday to be indoors. It is a Friday that I do not want to be outdoors. I'll be honest, I haven't been watching every day for probably 2 weeks. Life's just been happening. Yeah, well, last week when Hugo popped in for his usual, when he's not out Lori Allen it with Consuela? Whatever we decide on the day, when he's not out hanging out with her, he said that he hadn't watched a video in like 2 weeks. So, it is what it is. Stephen Turner with the 20. With the 20. I'm not away till end of September. We have internet in Spain, so I'll be tuning in. Nice. Dropping the 20 right off the bat. The Sawtooth lives again. All hail the Sawtooth. So I'm gonna ramble, and we're gonna figure out something. We're gonna figure out something to do. If you were a viewer of Wheelin' Wednesday, look at that. Stephen Turner got Mr. Hiscock. He got the hizzy. Have you thought about changing your times with you being on the West Coast? By the time you post, it's late in the day for us over here on the East End. I've just been thought. So there's a big bar graph on the YouTube Studio page that shows like when your subscribers are online, and it's like shades of purple. And basically the only hour that is constantly filled with the darkest purple across all 7 days of the week is 4 p.m. So I use the analytics to choose that time of day. And every once in a while when you see me do twofers, and did Ed get hit? Ed Scrivener received a gift membership by Stephen Turner. I almost missed it. When I upload at 2 p.m., it does not get more views than one uploaded at 4 p.m. And by that, I mean more views in the first hour or 2 hours. I want to see you get those Louise tires. Yeah, so do I. Did you get a chance to finish up the Lone Ranger build? Just curious. The video for that is Sunday. Is it finished? No. It's still dusty from its last. It's still dusty from its last trip. Hello from San Antonio, Texas. I can imagine San Antonio is also hot. Look at all that green. That's a lot of green. That's a lot of green. So, is it done? No. Did it do well? You'll find out on Sunday. It's a strange episode, that one, because while I mentioned all of the filming I did a full combo on this one. I'm happy with it. It did pretty well. I've got some stuff that needs sorted out, like I've got a pinion angle that doesn't completely agree with that front universal. We're kind of at the limits travel on that. But I mean, performance-wise, you can make your own takeaways on Sunday. And the body mounting solution, I'm particularly fond of. 2 pins in the back. I had some weird body posts with like giant posts that just happen to actually fit in the around 7mm holes in a bumper mount. So it does, like, I'm going to say that there are positives, one being no clips, the other being you just push it backward and then push it forward and your body's on. And it holds solid, but you'll see it does some weird, it does a little bit of an oddity. It did pretty good. I think so. What wheels? These might actually be Enjoras. These are 105 deeps. So these are the like minus 9.4, minus 10. They might be minus 11. They're Amazon. One way or the other. They're all Amazon. But yeah, these have been here for a while. So not expensive. You're talking sub $40. What is Wolverine's wheelbase? I want to say he's 330. I can check. If I can order some of those Louise tires, which one should I get first? I think everybody keeps talking about the 6 gear. If the wife wants a gentleman figure for Sheila, let me know. Looking at cutting those FJ panels to make a single cab. I knew you still hadn't cut it. I knew you hadn't, because that's my kind of work ethic. Like I'll get around to it. I want to think, if anybody else can think back, how long has it been since this guy did a tire test? 345. 345 on this guy. I did. Stricken Hobbies just posed the question, did you get the fake Aztecs? I did. They're right here on the rack. And I have this suspicion that these came out of the same factory responsible for the KO3s. So we got the Crawler TA, KX, but then on the other side, RC Yifan, and then when you look at it from the top, that's an Aztec. So they threw everything at the wall to see what would stick. I think it's been my first time that I've ever seen a fake Aztec. I've never cut and glued ABS before, so it's daunting. It should just be styrene, right? That's what the S in ABS is. So it should just be styrene glue, I would think. If not, I know for a fact they make dedicated ABS adhesives. I don't know what the availability is in other parts of the world, but SiGrip 4707 is the real stuff. When they say working time 10 minutes, they must be talking about a lot of. Oh, it might be solid. But you can just fill it with acetone and bring it back to life. Bring it back to life. I probably bought this can 10 years ago. Still going. Contains MEK and acetone. Well, it did. I don't think there's any MEK or acetone in there now. But I've brought these back to life before. Well done, 4707 will glue the hell out of ABS. I used to glue a lot of ABS. A lot of the Scion parts I made were ABS, and I would go through a pint of that about every 6 months or so. Does Louise have some new ones? Lee Jordan, yes. They have 3 new Crawler ones. I just wanted to say that the Driver's Ed episodes were great. Wife and I just finished them this morning. Yeah, the wife appears to be having a good time. And she requested that I build her one thing, and then the next week she requested that I build her another one. So I don't think I have too much to complain about. Louise has a new gravel tire called the Gravel Stage coming. Yeah, the Gravel Stage, the 6 gear, and another one. I've got other fake Aztecs in my list to send. Notice the PL part number? PL10242. Is that the number of the Aztec? So this Aztec is 10254. The one that I have. Yeah. So I wonder if is that the number of the Predator? Quite a few MEK glues here in the UK just making the first cut. Yeah, we'll sort out getting the windscreen off. I found it. Did I mention that I found it, that I found the windshield? They make these hobby saws that have the finest teeth that you have ever seen. I know they have them at the local Hobby Lobby. That's what I would use, because it's gonna cut a slot so thin you're basically gonna remove like 1/4 of a millimeter of material. MEK does indeed evaporate super quick, and it is super nasty. If not having used it myself, I would have learned that from the Lego master builders who use MEK to glue the bricks together. They literally just have like a squeezy bottle with the syringe tip on it, and they just put a little dab of it, and it just melts the plastic together. And they work in those little Lego master builder fish bowls where they've got a full extraction system and a full respirator on. So I'm like, I'd really rather not. I'm currently breaking out the woodworking skills, building a corner unit for our front room to fit around a window, hold a fish tank, and display my trucks on. Nice! Need to tidy up the room for a puppy. Ugh. It's almost worse than... That's all. A puppy is almost worse than letting a kid loose in there. Tamiya extra thin poly pipe glue for plumbing, but wear a mask. I have also used MEK and dichloromethane. Definitely mask up, and ventilation is a must for MEK. I only use it in the garage with the door up. Yeah. Hey, Mr. C, did you see the quotes, in quotes, new Vanquish drop? Yeah. I mean, on the one hand, are they sticking it to us? I don't think so exclusively. But on the other hand, is it shrinkflation masquerading as look, we're giving you more for less money? And the answer is no. I mean, the longer you look at the new Phoenix, kind of the worse it gets. As someone had pointed out, it's a Portal Fordyce. Basically exactly what it is. It's a Portal Fordyce, and apparently, so they say, the Incision S8Es have new seals in them, and they changed the cap. You notice the caps are now in that like silverish plastic that the higher end, like the VRD rod ends, come in the silverish plastic. So they made some changes. They definitely stanced all of the links. They're all 4mm uppers, and it looks like a 4mm tie rod as well. So every little bit of cost savings that is possible. And like, you can't put portals on a vehicle and then go, oh, we've made it, it's new and improved. We're charging at this point. Look how much money you're saving because we're giving you portals, and you had straight axles before. Well, yeah, because the VFD doesn't have enough gear reduction for straight axles, really. Not in an application like a Phoenix, in my opinion. So I feel like it looks like a decent amount of value, right? At $419 and on A-Main coupons eligible, So you'd be under 400. Would I buy one over a TRX4 Sport? I'm still taking a Sport, right? I'm still taking a Sport for $90 less. That's a Sport with a Fusion in it. And let's not forget about the tires that are supposedly, sidewalls less likely to rip. I mean, I don't think I would be holding my breath. Yeah, as Mr. Truitt says, no dig, no overdrive. If it says VFD spec, it's the cheapest VFD they can give you. You'd genuinely be better off with a Stealth, because then you at least have control over how much underdrive or overdrive, or how much underdrive you're getting, instead of just being stuck with the 6.5. Vanquish chewing gum? Yeah, it'd be like $12 a pack. Cold water nature or shrimp tank. Haven't decided yet. Already got a tropical setup. After I had kids, I made a borderline unilateral statement that no more fish tanks. Because if there's a pet here, I have to do too much care for it. It's the reason we don't have a dog. My wife has mentioned several times about how much she desperately wants a puppy, or thinks that she does. And I'm like, I don't want to feed and walk and clean up after a dog. My kids are grown, and they can feed, clean up, and care for themselves. Mostly. So all of a sudden, if there was a dog here, my time would be full. And I like to think that my time is already full. My time is fairly full. So I need to sit down. I already need to sit down for a second. All right. We have something that we need to consider and discuss. I do want to build the wife a buggy. I don't want to spend $2,000 on it. And I know that a buggy can get spendy. I'm not looking at RC Speedy or anything like that. Let's put it that way. I'm kind of not trending towards another H10 cage build. It's probably going to be plastic Amazon cage. I think that's better. Aiming towards something a little lighter. Aiming towards something easily maintained, let's say. I still have, as soon as I sat down, I still have that tiny little guy that I got off of Amazon, like, I don't know, 6 months ago. Let's judge the age by the dust level. Yeah, it's been down there. It's been down there for a minute. It was clearance priced, and I couldn't pass it up. So many people in the Facebook groups are ranting about the new Phoenix like it's something game changing. Yeah, it's a Portice. It's a Portal Fordice. I don't understand the level of excitement. It still doesn't have an interior in it. It still has the terrible electronics minus the radio, which is fair. But I don't like the trend. I don't like the trend. I don't like the direction they're going. Two things: my Jolly Green chassis awaiting collection at the post office. We just got home after a 12-hour drive back from Scotland. So hi and bye. Tatty bye, he said to us. He approached. He said he's coming and going, and then he went. Injora, the one with the light bar. That's the one I'm building now. Yeah. Because I have, well, I can talk about it or I can get up, I guess. So I removed my light bar because it got hung on everything. So this is a big one. And the handling characteristics of it are okay. I don't think that I thought about it for a split second, but after I thought about it for a few more seconds, it occurred to me this is probably not the buggy that I would put in my wife's hands for the first try. Because this thing, because it's so long, this being the Economoo, because it has honestly too much articulation for someone who's never driven one before. I was thinking about at least, maybe we'll call it a trainer. If I were to take this, I can take all of these plastics out. They don't matter. It doesn't matter. It literally, I haven't done anything to it. Like, if memory serves, this is how it came out of the box. I've got a set of nylons. It does have some question marks along with it, which is, if we had a normal 3 gear to slap in there, we could get away with whatever, right? My first instinct would be to brush it, just run it brushed. But I feel like if I go with this thing, I don't know what gearbox motor combination I can get away with that isn't going to try to put the motor right into the links. So question marks abound. I would put plastic links on it, but I think the only plastic links I have are the links from SEs. I should have a handful of SE links. The ones from Baseline and the original ones from Lord Pennaby. Injora sells a version of the R1 cage from G-Made. Yeah, I think that's this one. This is an R1 cage. So the issue that I run into is I would love to put a fusion in it. You know, I don't know. Like, is she ready to outrun her? Like, I've got plenty of outrunners. I'm a few minutes behind, but where are Pentaby's original axles? They're right over there. Wait, his original axles? Lord Pennaby's original axles. Dusty? Dusty. Yeah. Will a Stealth X fit? Maybe. I have that same cage with a dig box and a fusion. Yeah. The only issue I would have then is I don't have a Stealth X. I had a Stealth X a week ago, and then I put it in the Lone Ranger. And it fits just fine in the Lone Ranger. I see no reason to change anything that's in there, because he did pretty good. Basically, what it's coming down to is I'm trying to work with what's on hand. Because, this guy. All that thing does is make heat, too. Yes, I may or may not have filmed the Slonsky Quick View somewhat recently. Welcome to the More Secret Society, Jason Johnson. Welcome aboard. Yeah, Jeff at the Temple is right. No fancy tools. That's what I was thinking, because I have a 4-wheel steer set of Mia's nylons. I think that's probably a bad idea, because like 4-wheel steer is, I'm still working on grasping 4-wheel steer. And the only other thought was that I have her try misdirection, because misdirection's not too bad to drive. Also outrunnered though. I feel like before we go out on a, before we head out to the Wildwood, she would have to do a driver's ed episode on whatever buggy that we decided to fit her with, which is why I was leaning towards trying to set her up in this. Build a trainer and then build something better. Put the element portals in it. I still have those. Yeah, they're right under the bench. Yeah, I don't mind removing all of this stuff in here. But if Mr. Hurley, thank you for the 5. If I go with shorty motor, if we go shorty on a motor, and I've got, as I said, a couple, we'll see what we can put together, I've got a Revit. I've got a Holmes Team Spec, also a tiny little one. I've got that's a 1450. That's not going to be spicy enough. See, if it would fit, I've got a Fusion SE 1800. I've got a still brand new in the box Mini. And somewhere in here, I probably have the adapter plate I made to mount a Mini. I don't know. I don't know if I do or not. We got a Secure. I have if you need an 1800, I've definitely got that. Yeah. And Assumption is right. There's that feedback when bound up that comes about with brushed. CK Graphics with a 5. Thank you, sir. Yeah, geared way down. I think if I can fit it, see, if I go with the Outrunner, it's not quite as bad as, she's used to driving a Fusion. Oh, Bouncing Noise got one. Yeah. If the 1800 is the same size as a 540, it will fit. Yeah. And any 540 would fit. But the only way, off the top of my head, the only way for me to get a 3-gear in this is to steal it from something else. Who can I steal it from? I don't have a 3-gear. I've got a Stealth XF. We've still got the Mias. I've got an OD3. I'm going to say that's it. I got a couple other little minis, but those minis are all going to be the same footprint as the OD3 or the Mias. That is the XF that Mr. Truitt dropped off. Now, see, my issue is, I think that the XF, you don't have a plastic AX10 clone? No, I gave them all away. Battery goes in through the windshield. Nice. Yeah, all of that internal stuff would likely be ejected. If we can get an XF to fit, and obviously the holes line up, the only worry is that A full 540 is going to snout out too far. So if it's got an outrunner on it, like if it's got one of these little pancakey fellas, that motor is going to go to right there. Then we're not going to have a problem. I mean, we can also look at it this way. Also, center outputs on this would not be a bad idea because it's going into Mias nylon, so it'd be that straight drive line through. I mean, I can also, we can look at it this way. We can look at it this way. We're building potentially a buggy trainer, and if not, we can give it away. You know, Gearbox. I don't think I paid $20 for this. Mr. Truitt, ants. Mr. Truitt dropped off the XF. I mean, we'll figure it out. It'd go as a slider. You know, I've got shocks for it. Fusion SE sucked it in for me. Not enough room. Yeah. I wonder why it said my actual name when I upgraded instead of my username. Huh. I don't know. You and the missus had a nice time crawling. I seen good times. Yeah, I mean, we did. Is what built yet? Is this built yet? I mean, in my head, I guess. Not all the way. So then we arrive at the next pot of issues, which is I'm going to have to jockey somebody around, and it won't be hard to figure out who to jockey it around to. The only Mr. Caney, you should build that and give it away to one of the kids at the Shriners Hospital. I've been wanting to do a special build like that. Do you mean this? Speaking about this? Give her a fusion. Like, yeah, both of her current, Jade and Sheila both have Fusion SE 1800s. This would fulfill the trio where everything she has would have a Fusion SE 1800 in it. Well, we went up to Wildwood where the terrain was far too rough, where Bruce found his golf ball, where the terrain was far too rough. And I said, you know, I had mentioned that somebody had been up there with a buggy. And I said a buggy would have a much easier time up here. And then a little while later, she said, yeah, you should build me a buggy. So I don't think she expressly knows what a buggy is, other than it has a body like this. So I don't know. I think we can get away with most anything. Give her the UTB 18 first so she appreciates the 10 scale buggy over the small ones. Be kind of funny. Oh, she would be like, what? What is that? If you want to do another H10 with Mias Capras, I'll send you my H10 case. I freaking hate that truck. I'm stripping it to build something with the axles. For some people, it comes on sooner, and for some it comes on later. The ultimate and inevitable realization that the H10 is not a rock crawler, because in the configuration that it comes from Vanquish, it is not. How does Mrs. C feel about being on camera, talking on camera, and driving something new? She doesn't know how. She's up for it. I mean, she volunteered for it. If maybe Inception was part of it, I don't know. I don't know. Like she's not one. She doesn't. My wife doesn't like being told what to do. She is deliberately contrarian, perhaps even above my own abilities. So if you tried to get her to do something, you'd be hard-pressed to get her to do it. So everything you see is volunteer status. So I think that's why it's as successful as it is. And she is a manager of people. Her direct reports in her department under is like 125 people. So she's very used to talking to a group. So for her, the talking to people that she doesn't know isn't a problem. Oh, and I would definitely take an H10 cage. I don't know what it even fully broken down. I don't know what it's going to cost to ship it here from Scotland. If it's too much, don't do it. Like if it seems affordable to ship it over here, I will take it. I will build another one. Mr. C made your hard lines look easy. Yeah, I know. I know. Jolly Green at that place that was too rough for Bruce. I think that place is really kind of this oriented. I think Jolly Green or one of his children could do reasonably well, but then I have to get into the consideration of I have to pick somebody, right? If we build one for her, whether it's this one or a next one, I have to pick my alternative, and I don't want to build myself another one. I would just take this guy. This is my leader. I thought about Gumby, but most likely it would be this guy. It would be old Economoo, because Economoo, now that the Ghoulie is gone, he's kind of an odd man out. So if he becomes my trail buggy, that would be great. He's also on geologic infections, so those will do great. He doesn't really need anything done to him at all. He's got a huge battery tray right up here that I can fit. I can probably fit one of those 3600 Genzace adventure packs in there. I figure a 2200 will probably be enough. This is actually far more, it's like a subcompact car. There's far more room in there than you would expect. And I would get this out to, like, this guy's huge, 370 on the wheelbase. On this one, we would probably go for the infamous number. I'd be probably shooting for around right about there. Like around a 330. Oh, and to complete the thought, I have to modify another radio to be Camera Pig. It has to have the attachment for the power supply for the cam cooler. It has to have the GoPro mount to mount the stick for the GoPro. It has to have all that stuff. So I can't just hop around from rig to rig to rig to rig. I can't just trail with whatever I want. It like this stuff has to be set up together. So I'm fine with this one. He does not seem, he's got the upgraded axles and everything, so he doesn't seem to be overwhelmingly frangible. And also, he won't be too bad to carry. He's not that heavy, 8.5-ish pounds or so. And then this, looking at it as it sits so far, would not be very difficult to carry at all. And as I had mentioned, Mias Nylons is very, like I could rebuild this axle, every single part of it right now. So fixing that is broken. Set all the trail specific rigs on the same radio. I mean, that is an option, and that is honestly, if I can I reach it? That is honestly what I would most likely do on this one. I would just rebind his receiver to Bruce's radio, which would save a lot of work. See, I can't do that with Gumby because Gumby is four-wheel steer. Gumby is on a Sanwa MT4. Gumby would be one of my picks. Like, I think that would make a great trail buggy. It's based off that H10. He's got four-wheel steer. He's on megalithics. He can do a lot of cool stuff. But then we get into the problem of having to record it. If there was no recording taking place, then pick a thing in the building and we can just take it with us. But there are other considerations to be made. What is this guy? Oh, he's running a Rhino. So, oh, did somebody ask about Dig? It should have Dig. She's definitely not ready for Dig. Definitely not ready for Dig. Mad Scientist Makers has hated the H10 since he bought it, put tons of money in work, and it still sucks. That sounds That sounds accurate. I wish Mr. Woodham is here so he could relate what it's like to own 5 of them. I trail more than I crawl, and I'd love to get an optic just to see what it does. I don't know if you would. Do you reckon you could replicate Jake, but better? He needs a brother or sister. I don't know if I could make Jake better than Jake is. Not ready for dig. The trail rigs are largely not going to be in the situations that are more crawling on your rig. Wood, less likely to need to carry a broken toy back to the car. Okay. 30. Same radio. I noticed someone's become very fond of cruise control. Yeah, she's learning the cruise control 100%. Alloy axles would be better for weight bias. I can tell you this from experience, both in building Jolly Green, building Zorana. Typically, like if you were to take just the part that forms the axle, and none of the parts on the outside of it, replace this plastic one with an alloy one, it will typically add about between 25 and 45 grams. That's it. I mean, I would reckon that there are alloy axles that weigh less than this axle as configured with the weights and the diff cover on it. And then servo and axle is going to increase the weight even more. Alloy axles are not heavy. You would think that they would be, but they are like an ounce, between 1 and 2 ounces heavier than just a plastic axle. Best internals to fit MES nylon axles. Just the ones. These. I have never had to use a spare part. I buy these and then build more axles out of them. Usually, especially using the portal gears and the stub axles. But yeah, all the plastics are interchangeable with Vanquish, so you can put a full Vanquish portal box on a MES nylon. The MES nylon is like an F10 and an AR-44 had a baby. And that's all. It's just a center pumpkin F10, basically. Yeah, silicone inserts deliver the same benefit, true. I would most likely be shooting for 5.25s on this. I would like to run something LP, either a 5.25 or a 5.4, get a little bit more ground clearance. I figure the weight is going to be appreciably low because like this weighs nothing, and not having the chassis weight is going to help. Why don't you just make the camera setup independent that way? If you need to trade it off to her, she can hold it while you drive, remove something while I move. There's a microphone on it. It has to have a power supply to run the cam cooler. None of it is optimized. It's just one of those things where it happens to work well enough now to the point where we don't disassemble everything and start over. The cam cooler was the big game changer because it keeps the thing on all the time. I have a Traxxas 3500 kV brushless from a Slash. What's a good crawler ESC to pair it with? Well, Sanctus, that Valenion is uncensored. So it's going to be fairly terrible at crawling. You could try it. Like if you're doing like rock bouncing type of stuff, you could get away with it with that. But a 3500 is going to want a mountain of gear reduction to get you down to crawling speed. Like you could run it off any brushless ESC that you like. I mean, the Hobbywing Tub BL120 is a big #1 choice because it's so like $45. But low speed control is going to be right out the window. You're not going to have it. Certainly be getting nylons rather than alloy, not as grabby on racks. Now, that's another one. I believe that is in general a misconception, that alloy grabs the rocks more. I want to say that the shape / layout of the axle is what makes them grab more than what material they're made out of. Because save for, I think, one set, all of my Capra axles are alloy. And like, look how little, look, this is all he's got. So this basically doesn't touch rocks. We've got these little points right here. Now, like on Traxxas axles are plastic, but because that C-hub is so beefy, those stock C-hubs hook like anchors when they get caught on stuff, and that's a plastic axle. Now, some alloy axles absolutely catch and hook. I bought nylons last week, and the first run the CVD pin came out and trashed the knuckle. That would not be the first time that has happened. Mad Scientist Makers has noticed no difference in catching rocks from alloy to nylon. Alloy axles sure hook up more after they have a few dings in them. The plastic slide over easier. Again, I have to respectfully disagree. It is the design, it is not the material, because if you saw him when he got refreshed, look at that. That is rock honed, and baseline does not get snagged on rocks. I started off from a position of I don't want alloy axles because they're going to hang up more. And then I started putting more alloy axles on things and more alloy axles on things. Wolverine is on alloy axles. It's not a problem. Zoidberg is on them. Zorana's on them. Jolly Green is on them. The shape of the axle is going to stick or it isn't. It makes never mind what you make a Gen 7 or Gen 9 axle out of. It gonna stick. So yeah, like if it's an SSD Diamond Pro, it's going to be the slidiest. Like 10 Pros are fairly close. I don't find any axles other than the Red Cat ones to be expressly stickier than others. Like if they put no design into it, they're going to hang up more. Just ask anybody with a Red Cat axle under a vehicle. But like a Diamond Pro just glides over everything. It's that shape. It's that shape for a reason. And, you know, they kind of copied that Diamond Pro shape on these, and it works. That little faceted shape. Yeah, can't beat good engineering. What brand of the axle case is on Baseline? Baseline's front axle is a Trial alloy housing for Element, and his rear housing is the rear housing from a Gatekeeper, the old factory team hard plastics, because of the wonderful things he does. So I don't have another. That is my last. I still have two fronts. You know, you got that gray plastic versus the black plastic. That was my last gray rear housing. But the black plastic Element housings flex like crazy. So do the one-piece AR-44s. The one-piece AR-44 housing, you can bend it like a banana. Meanwhile, these don't flex at all. Like it's hard. Put as much. Am I getting that? Put as much effort as you want. They do not deflect. They do not deflect. So the factory team plastics have the plus and the minus. The plus is they don't flex. The minus is their internal pinion bearing is still a 5x10. So you have to have some 5x10 bushings on hand. Otherwise, you're going to blow up pinion. You're going to blow up pinion bearings, and then you're going to eat all your own gears. Can you please explain the difference between censored and uncensored motors and why one works for crawling and one doesn't? Okay. So an uncensored motor does not have what's called a Hall sensor, which is basically, whiteboard! So inside of a, where's my whiteboard? Inside of a brushless motor, there are magnets, right? And for ease of drawing it, we'll interpret it as being a two-pole, because it'll be easier to draw. I can't draw a perfect circle, so I'm not even going to try. This is going to be, I don't know if this is going to be helpful. Okay. So, a brushless motor is an AC motor, right? That's why it has 3 wires that are usually called A, B, and C, right? And basically all they are is just a switching power supply. So you have 2 magnets that are on the outside of the can, and then you have the stator, the little guy, the rotor, the guy spinning in the middle. And what is happening is they're doing a plus and minus thing, because we have a plus and a minus thing, and it's by alternating those pulses, it's making this thing rotate, right? Now what happens is when you have a 2-pole motor like this, a 4-pole motor would have, so if it goes all the way around, it will have 4 magnets. So 2-pole has 2 magnets. So when this part of the stator is lined up inside this magnetic field, the motor kind of knows where it is, right? But then when this motor starts to rotate out and it's rotating towards the next magnet, if you stop at that moment and the motor is oriented like this, where it's in between the poles, the motor basically doesn't know what it's doing. It's like you took the timing chain out and you threw it in the bushes. So because it doesn't have a sensor to sense the position of the stator, it doesn't know what to do. So what it's going to do is it's going to start going power, 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 and that's where you get that of the motor trying to figure out, how do I make this move? Once it rotates enough to get back in line with that magnetic field, it smooths right off again. But if you try to make real low speed proper modulation, they will keep lining up where nothing is happening. And the motor will go grr, 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 because it doesn't know how to do it. When it's censored, it always knows the rotor's orientation relative to the magnets. So it can just keep feeding it that force, and you can get that low speed control. Like, where is he? These are uncensored. There's no sensor in this. But I want you to look at the space between the magnets. See how little space there is between the magnets? This is a 14-pole motor. So there are 14 little magnets that go all the way around. Or these that go all the way around. And I don't know if I can turn it to where you can see up in there. So there are magnets all around the outside of this can. So the odds of the, yeah, well, on an outrunner, yeah, the magnets are moving, and the outrunner's and inrunner reversed. So the odds of the magnets and the poles not knowing where each other are is very small, because there's so many of them. There's so many of them, which is why these can get away with extremely low speed. There's basically no non-overlapping position. A magnet is lined up with the little coil guy all the time. So the more poles you put in there, the smoother that motor is going to run, which is why all of these run so smoothly, which is why even in in-runners, you'll see 4-pole in-runners and 6-pole in-runners, because it's going to make them operate more smoothly at low speed. Your advantages at higher speed, the magnets rotate in either type. No, they don't. No, they absolutely do not. Let me find one that's already taken apart. I gotta dig into the crate of all things ancient. Okay, not getting that apart. I'm trying to remove screws that haven't been removed in decades. I get this feeling that we're saying the same things different ways. Okay. Ah! Trying to get this ancient motor apart, and I can't. I can't get it apart. Yeah, a brushed motor has stationary magnets. He's absolutely right. But it's the same principle. It's the same principle that it's losing because we have poles, either 2 poles, 4 poles, or 6 poles. There's going to be gaps. Basically, it's more easily shown on the way a brush motor is with the fixed magnets on the outside. Just turn that inside out and then take the inside outness and turn it right side out again, and then you have an in runner. But on an in runner, which I lost, so this part is fixed, so the magnets are moving but outside the wire part. On an in runner, the wires are outside the magnets. But they're all doing, yeah, the layout is the same. Yeah, which part spins is the difference. Yeah, there you go. So my illustration is equally helpful and equally not. So with censored, there is a physical sensor which is telling the speed control or interpreting for the speed control the rotor's position, so that you can get low speed smoothness. It's how fusions work. It's how any censored motor works. So you can get away with uncensored if you have an incredible number of poles, which is basically, is that or is that not what Holmes did with the 2-in-1? Because it's like a 10 pole, I want to say, but I don't believe it is censored. I don't believe that's censored. Is it? Is the Holmes 2-in-1 censored? I don't have one, nor would I have any desire to buy one, because I said from the very beginning that it's no, I don't want to get into Hall sensors at all. There's a magical thing in there that tells the speed control the position of the spinny bit. That's all we need to know. And in an uncensored motor, it doesn't have that. It doesn't have the part that tells the speed control the position of the spinny bit. So it makes the Holmes isn't censored. There you go. So it just a 10-pole in-runner. Yeah. Yeah, another one that I'm equally curious about, but not curious enough to spend money on it, is, if any have seen the Furatech 2-in-1, which is a Furatech 2-in-1 outrunner with a speed control that looks like it's about the size of 3 American quarters sitting on top of each other. Yes, fusions are censored. And based on Furatech's track record with, let's call it their treatment of pixies, I would be cautious. I would be very cautious about Furatech. I have had a number of Furatech products here, and no one has behaved the same as any other one. I have a Python lizard. I have one of them that has a non-functional LVC. The other one can't be run on 4S without exploding. I had another one that let the Magic Pixies out when I plugged a battery into it. I had one that ran extraordinarily hot for no reason, and then I changed the motor and the radio, and it stopped running hot. It didn't stop running hot when I just changed the motor, but when I changed the radio, it stopped running hot. Do you have any Three Brothers motors? I'm pondering on their 1500. I have 2 yellow jackets and a black jacket. How many poles do you need at the minimum to eliminate cogging? On an in-runner, I don't know. on an outrunner, they all seem to be, some call it 12 slot, 14 pull, 14 slot, 12, whichever they call it. Basically, every outrunner is the same. So these would be 12 pull, 14 slot. Is that right? So there's 12 windy bits and 14 magnets. And you've seen the amount of low speed that you can get out of an outrunner. So if you want to eliminate cogging without having something censored, I mean, someone already solved it. There's already an answer. This isn't the motor I had in my hand a minute ago. I've lost my mind. Cut Furatech some slack. They are highly consistent in their inconsistency. Yeah. I have a 380 revolver set up on my buggy and it's trash. No issues with anything else of theirs so far. So, like, I mean, I don't know what is the cause or the reason behind Furatech's quality control or lack thereof, because I genuinely do. I have 2 ESCs. I know one is a Python and one is a Lizard 10, and they've been flawless. And I have 2 separate yellow jackets. I want to say one is in, used to be in tank. One is in zombie, and it got overheated. Zombie, if you'll recall, is made out of parts that are almost all, they were previously broken. Like things had glitched, gotten overheated, gotten smoked, whatever. We put them back in and they just keep working. He's got that OMG 80 kg servo, which died on the tester, but it still kind of lives like a zombie. The gentleman who gave me the yellow jacket, the older yellow jacket, when the can was still fatter, had gotten it so hot you could see smoke coming off of it. And it's still going. Works just fine. Zobazu has the other one, has a 1500 kV yellow jacket. And then I have a black jacket in the Muzzard, the mullet, the all Vanquish mullet build. I have a Sidewinder 3 laying around, and I'm wondering if there's a way to at least trail with it. Oh, 100%. 100%. That Valenion on a Sidewinder 3 should be absolutely fine. Yeah. Would brushed or outrunner work better with a Sidewinder 3? I'll tell you this. An outrunner on that Sidewinder will sound like the end times. Will sound like the angels sounding their unholy trumpets and the sky opening up, turning to sackcloth, and the rivers becoming as fire. You will not like it. If Sidewinder 3 does indeed support brush, you'd probably be better off with that. A 1080 is probably going to net you better results than the Sidewinder is, because you're asking a Sidewinder. It's like getting a world-class pole vaulter to come over to your house and clean your pool. Is kind of Sidewinder running brush. But I mean, hey, give it a try. Can you recommend a brushless in-runner combo? I'm looking for a very short waterproof motor. Does anybody other than Holmes make a stubby in-runner? Not off the top of my, that's all I can think of off the top of my head. I don't do in-runners. There are 2 in-runners in the entire fleet. One is in my GOM, which is not a crawler, and the other one is the ridiculous Toro RC 4268 that I put in Ironsides just because it's a laugh. But in a day where fusions exist and outrunners exist, I don't know if in-runners have a place in rock crawlers. In my mind, they don't. Is an 1800 kV outrunner overkill for a winch? No, just gear it way down so it goes really slow and has all the mechanical advantage in the world and makes an absolute mountain of torque. Attach it to a gearbox for a UTB 18 and just put a winch spool coming right off of it. Our Python was working fine, but had the cutoff issue. There you go. You can trail with it as long as it has earplugs. Yeah, you'll spook some horses. I like the Furicar app a lot, but I totally agree. Yeah, their Bluetooth integration is actually really good. I remember mentioning that in one of my reviews of the Furitech products where I said a note to other manufacturers. If this is how you're going to integrate Bluetooth, then integrate it this way because they did it right. The stuff on the Hobbywing Max series is equally good, but Furicar works great. I worry about the motor size of the Furitech. It's a 2810. The little Rhino is a 2812 and the big one is a 2820. Yeah. Yeah. Does Economoo have room for an onboard cam? No. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know how I would mount it, but you could probably get the camera right in there. It would overheat almost immediately, but it would fit. If he didn't have dig, it would fit on that side, but he does. So, well, the cameras that I have. If GoPro hadn't discontinued the session, we could put cameras in everything. Did you get the goat figured out? Yes, I did. Yes, it is actually installed in Baseline right now because I have to record tomorrow because I record on Saturday mornings. I'm not supposed to record on Friday mornings, but I did. I'm not supposed to record on Wednesday mornings, but I did. I don't remember if I completed the thought, but the wife said that she wants to go to the beach next week. And if the wife says she wants to go to the beach and you want to guess where we're going, then the answer is the beach. So if we take 2 days out of my work week, right in the middle, I have to make that time up in advance. So I'm going to try to do that. So I was recording far too many videos instead of what I think I should have been doing, which was sitting down. I'm just going to try to throw some links at this thing, and we'll see what sticks. I mean, it does seem like the perfect time to go to the beach because the California kids are back in school. They go back to school the first week of August. And if the kids are back in school, that's the time to go to the beach because there will be less children there. I found this. You know what? Let's just throw some screws at it, you know? What's it going to hurt? We're all here. It's still under 80 in here. Go to Corona Del Mar and you can crawl too. Ooh, I can't. If she saw me attempting to put a toy car in the real car, she'd have my head. She would have my head. She already frowns when I put the boogie boards in the car. Because we go out in the water and she has her maternal instincts and we scare her. The Upper Links want a 10-2 skid. Well, they're not the boss of me, and we're going to geo this thing into the ground. I'm not saying that it's going to work. I'm saying that we're going to do it. Yeah, because the 10-2 skid has got the... Well, that'll be the same. Doesn't even have the riser ones. An Element skid is a 10-2 skid. This is that skid that has the bonus holes in it. It's got the 3-gear pattern and then the bonus pattern. For one of the many times that Axial was like, you know what we need? The Holmes Stubby costs €130 here in Germany. Yeah. Is there a particular reason that you want an in runner? Like what is the What is the situation where an in-runner is the only answer? Because if you can put an outrunner in it, it's going to be smaller and lighter and quieter and more powerful and guaranteed to be cheaper. Like, aside from withstanding the elements, oh yeah, you can run an outrunner underwater. Like, there are boats where the outrunner is in the water. So, my boat has an outrunner in it. The only thing they don't like is, like, sticks and rocks. Outrunners don't care about water at all. They care about the stuff that isn't water. I don't think that there's any motor that really cares about water. You can run in-runners and outrunners in a glass of water because, again, they don't care about the water. They care about the stuff that's not water. If you get a nice rock in it, it's gonna make that motor come to a sudden, unanticipated stop. Got some double bends. I think, yeah, Water I Plan has stuff in it. Yeah. See, it's not the water. It's the stuff. Which I get. I think I found its partner. Couple of random links. I was assembling so many things. We went through so many builds so fast that I think I used up all but a couple of the Mias offset ends. I just have Mias straight ends now. And this is definitely going to need offsets for the uppers. Looks like it'd be better with offsets for the lowers, too. Yeah. Oh, by the way, thank you, Miata, for the 5. Put SE links on it and work from there. It's not bad. I want to push the wheelbase out as much as is reasonably possible, because longer wheelbase is going to be more forgiving. I don't even know what the wheelbase is on the actual R1. I assume it's reasonably long. I don't, or what is he outfitted with? Oh, see, there's a risk. Because of the oddities of those inexpensive offset Capra axles, he's running element rod ends. Element rod ends are some of my favorite in terms of fitment, but they are definitely not some of my favorites in terms of durability, because I've broken more element rod ends than I've broken any other rod end. When nope, it's cheapos. I should have a couple bags of them. Nope. Why do we keep keeping all of these? Don't be like me. If you get something and it comes with these rod ends, just throw them away. Just take the bag and throw them away. These are the rod ends that come with, like, the... There we go. I stole the links and left the... I knew there were some in here. Those rod ends will either rip, tear, break. You will end up stranded. The Mias ones are great because they just copied TRX4. And they used to sell them in giant sacks. Now they become unavailable. What do you think about the team-associated RC10 trail truck? You mean an Element trail walker with a I guess we could regard it as an unlicensed axial Cherokee body. That's exactly what it is. It is advanced levels of shrinkflation. It is Element / associated parent company Thunder Tiger attempting to maximize on nostalgia, which is weird for, because Element's only been around since 2019. But I want some of the white plastics, and that's about it. I don't understand it on the whole, and I don't understand it on a number of levels because they went so far as to label it for sale as an associated. There's no mention of Element on it, which is not oft good. Like no good can come of this. I don't know what Thunder Tiger's plan was. So for my non-axle with the CVD that came apart, would you just recommend getting Mias replacements and hope it doesn't happen again? I'm guessing there aren't really any upgrade options. There really aren't. What you can do is if you have yourself an automatic center punch, I had a universal here on the bench somewhere. Right on the universal, right next to where the pin is. So like, it's generally not the big pin. It's this little pin right here. You want to go right along here and just give it a pop, and it will swell the metal over, and it will cause it to bite down on that pin harder. You kind of swage them, and then they won't come apart. Mias is not unique in that. The FMS ones fall apart. A number of any of the cheaper stuff, they kind of fall apart. And yet I've had Mias nylons that they don't. So some fall apart, some do not. It's not a guarantee that they're going to fall apart. Just finished putting in a Mias Gold Rush. I've got a lot of bits left over. No idea what half of them are for. Things like a single tiny rod end and a little brass ball. It's for the winch. They gave you stuff to attach to mount a winch, and that is for the winch. You should also have a big flexy, like a metal-lined tube guy, which is also for the winch. They never mention it or show any pictures of its installation that I can recall, but that's what it's for. I think they're trying to sell the replica fans buying up all the RC10s. Yeah. Fanboy bait, yeah. Like, Vanquish is just taking a page out of the Associated playbook. I've heard that key people left Element, which is why they've been so quiet. I cannot confirm anything, obviously, but I fear for Element's well-being. Yeah, 100%. Team Associated also shuttered their race team. And Team Associated was synonymous with racing for a long time. So that's not great. We will ultimately get to see what comes out of all of that. And, on the one hand, you could say it will suck to see Team Associated go. But then on the other hand, I think a reasonable argument could be made that Associated was gone from when they got bought by Thunder Tiger. And that Losi was gone when Gil Losi sold it to Horizon. So they've all been zombies to one degree or not. Thunder Tiger's plan was to rule the world. Yeah. I think the Element brand will disappear. Nothing new from them in ages. Not just that. They tried to pull a Traxxas, which is sell a single platform and nothing else for years and years. And they don't have the Element definitely doesn't have the segment control that Traxxas does. Traxxas can get away with a lot of things. Now I'm wondering if these Miases will be too tight. So what I usually do, this will be fine for assembly, but what I usually do is I have a ball end for the Dremel, and I just round out that little square slot because this is it's a little too tight. It's definitely going to impact its ability to articulate. Which, if memory serves, is why that guy is on element ends and not heavy duty ends. But we're just mocking it, right? I have plenty of time. I have no worries about this thing being on the rocks within the next couple days. I never answered Chuck's question from earlier. Well, I don't remember what it is, Mr. Hurley. You got to tell me what it is again. Gonna try the stainless steel CVDs off AliExpress for the Mashing and FJ. I don't want to say that I filmed a video on that very recently that it isn't up yet, but I filmed a video on that very recently that isn't up yet. The stainless steel stuff for the FMS has landed on Amazon. So it arrived on Amazon. Losi shuttered their Pro Team. AE is still at it. Okay. I haven't followed racing in, over 20 years. I only found out Kenwald died just a couple of years ago. Found out he had died like 5 years ago, and I found out like a year and a half ago. Because there's no reason to follow pro racing anymore. It's the craziest thing for pro racing for me is that some of the same guys are still at it. Like, it's the same guys. Yeah, video should be up in a couple days, I think. I don't remember where I scheduled it. But, would it be better to get the Mias Gold Rush with the axles or the Endura chassis and get the Mias Nylon separate? I've never used the Endura chassis. I've just heard hearsay on people saying mostly positive things about it. Endura lands in the bucket, the exact bucket that you would anticipate, which is Endura, whether it be tariff-based or internal decisions, whatever it is. On the one hand, they're sending me an email that announces that they have a U.S. distribution warehouse. And on the other hand, anything you order from them takes 13 to 15 days to arrive in your hands. So if it's an Endura chassis versus a Gold Rush, as I stand here right now, I buy a Gold Rush because I can buy one on Amazon, have it here tomorrow, and it is a 100% known quantity. I would give no recommendations for the Endura until I've built one and put its rails side by side against other rails to see who did Endura copy or what personal route did they take. Hard to find just a plain TRX4. I want a kit without electronics. If you get lucky and there's a hobby shop somewhere, you can find a TRX4 sport kit. But other than that, the kits are gone. When you put the VFD twin in Phoenix, did you just use the plastic VS410 skid? I want to say that I used a Zoku skid. I think that's what I used. No, did you change the body on the Phoenix? Am I missing questions? No, Phoenix is still on his Biddy Design Rock 1. Live ARC here in the tube makes for great race watching. Not to promote another channel, but it's neat to watch the fast guys. I watch it more than real racing. Yeah, Drake is still out there doing it. I bought a used HPI Baja 5 petrol this week. Awesome loud thing. No one would have thought that this proud brand would go under like this. Yeah. USPS should be dropping off KYX wheels and tires. Nice. DHF Hades forgot that today was Friday. I've been there. Are these stainless FMS axles U-joint or CVD? I've got some shiny U-joint ones for Randall. They seem pretty better. The FMS ones from the ones that fit the FMS that come in what I would call a variety bag are universals. They're U-joint. Apparently Horizon is closing their California warehouse. All these AliExpress companies onshoring drove up the rent. Does the Mias one on Amazon have the axles, or it's just a chassis? But you buy the chassis and then you buy the axles. When you get it all in one from Mias, there's no discount. They just bundled them together. Like they're selling you axles and a chassis for the price of axles and a chassis. Both of the Endura chassis sets are on Amazon next day for me. The center motor. The Endura chassis are not even on Amazon where I am. And so help me God, if they are. If I go to Amazon right now, and those Endura crawler chassis are on Amazon, I'm telling you this right now. First sneak peek, I will never build one. There it is. Front-mounted LCG and then the center-mounted LCG. I do a search for crawler chassis on Amazon at least twice a week. I have never, ever, ever seen these on Amazon. I thought that there used to be a thing where on the item details where they would show you when it was added to the Amazon catalog, but it doesn't have it. Yeah, never going to build one. Done. Okay, so if you want to find out if the Endura chassis is any good, take your money, go to Amazon, buy one, build it, and let me know how it goes. I'm honestly, I'm getting sick of it. The whole thing with somebody's like, oh no, those tires are at HRP. I don't want to sound like I'm on the internet too much, but I search these websites at least more than once a week. I have never seen that Endura chassis on Amazon. Ever. Someone said now that the non-mounted tires are on HRP now from Louise. I went on HRP like Monday, and those tires weren't on there. And now suddenly they are. So I will not buy one. Ever. Because I order from Endura Direct only if there is no other option. No other option. Endura is the slowest in terms of delivery. I don't want to order something now and get it 3 to 4 weeks from now. So the easiest way around that is to just not order it at all. And that's where I'm going to operate from. If I never have to order from Endura again, I'll be fine. Did you see the link I sent you about the? Yeah, I was just talking about the 2-in-1 Furatech earlier. Stephen Turner, you ain't alone. I haven't seen that until today. Yeah. So, like, I'm in no hurry at all. I have a curiosity. I have a sick curiosity about the Endura, which is primarily who did they copy? Yeah, yes, Mr. Hurley, the 2-in-1 Outrunner, which I said I would be exceptionally wary of, as Furatech has not traditionally shown themselves as a company good at keeping their pixies in line. Because it seems like most likely you're probably going to end up lighting something on fire. We need to be about 115-ish. 110-ish. Let's go for a 110. So you won't buy something on Amazon because it wasn't there yesterday? I'm on Amazon every day. And I get emails from companies all the time. And I hear nothing. And then I get to deal with comments. Hey, have you tested this? Like, I'm amazed, only because I've said so many fun things about Vanquish in recent times. I feel like is the only reason that I haven't gotten an email asking if I'm going to test the new Phoenix. You know, the one that's on pre-order and doesn't actually come out. Someone will send me an email and say, did you test that yet? Like where do you think you are? Who do you think I am? Like, am I the man of the future? Companies don't send me things. Furatech sent me one ESC. Radiolink sent me two, count them, two radios, which I already owned 40 of. I just remembered there was a question that I didn't answer earlier. Somebody asked what shocks are on there. These are high trail, Trex's high trail shocks. So 110 GTSs. Because I had them and I bought them Jenny's and didn't have anything to put them on. So I was like, you know what? Put them on there. Oh, yeah, Amazon is definitely too convenient. My guess is that everything coming out of China is all made in the same factory and just gets different labels shoved on a couple different buildings. I think that the number of companies actually making anything is probably pretty small. And most companies are just rebaggers, rebadgers, retaggers. Like, I don't believe Benedict Harry makes anything. I don't think 9iMod makes anything. They just collect material, send it out. 140. Okay, we need something significantly shorter than that. 140. Jeez. Wait, how long is this? 140. All right, if I can successfully get a 110 on the front of this, it should be a good split. It should actually handle reasonably well. You're too honest for sponsored tests. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of shock length, how long are VRD shocks? 90 millimeter. Kept wondering where the CC release vid was for the Vanquish as they all released in concert. Yeah. Yeah, they're never sending me anything. I can guarantee it. What I do what I do get are collaboration offers from companies that make stuff that has no involvement in anything that I do. That's what I get. I'm lucky that, I mean, the one company offered to send me that pressure washer, the Kaiwitz, and I was like, I don't know if I've ever said yes to anything so fast, because apparently I didn't see it coming. I didn't feel it happening, but apparently I collect pressure washers now because I own 4 of them. Not little ones. I have a big electric one, a slightly smaller electric one. I've got the Kaiwitz, and I've got the little the Fantic from Costco. And did you get your Wolf box? Yes. It's so good. It's so good. I like it. Look at them. It has LEDs down the barrel for no reason. I'm a fan of the Wolf box. It's crazy, right? Like, how do they, like, I know there's some serious RPM going in there out of that little chrome-plated plastic fan. This is used in concert with my pressure washer to blow the rigs off after they're wet, so we can put them in the car dry. It's handy dandy. These are quality of life improvements. Sputter Crawler was here and had a Wolf box, and I had been reluctant to pull the trigger on a tiny air blower thing because if you've ever looked for them on Amazon, there's like 800 of them. And some of them are very expensive and some of them are very inexpensive. And this one was $35. Comes with a couple different nozzles. Just cram a USB-C in it and you charge it. It's great. Hizzy asks if he buys a new FMS FJ for 259 pounds. Now, I know you. So you have at least one, I think more than one. I still think the answer is yes, because my objective with that would, if I had an option, like let's put it in American money, if I had an option to buy one for $250, I would buy it so fast that the money would leave that dust cloud behind it from how fast it disappeared, and then I would send it to MKRC Builds, so then that he would join our madness. And I would actually order two. Then I could build a fourth one, because I feel like what I need in my life is to build a fourth FMS FJ40. So many 80s. So many 80s. If you need an 85, all you're going to find are 80s. Why is it? Please explain. Why do I only need the same length links all the time? That's why I can have drawers of links, and none of them are of any use. Because I've either got 50s or 80s or something 3 times. Like, I have one of these. That's like an 82. It's the only one I can find. I got one of them. I didn't even know it had LEDs until you just said. The first time I turned it on, it was dark, and I could see blue light shining out of its mouth. So that's how I knew that it had LEDs in it. I use an electric leaf blower to dry my Harley after I watch it. Yeah. Oh, so 259 pounds is $350 US? That's just regular price. Yeah, the LEDs are so you can blow your dirt off in the dark. Guess I'm off to get another one for the cab chop then. Yeah, I mean, I want to pick up another one. And I told the wife when she said you should build me one, I was like, I'm going to wait for it to go on sale. And then I didn't. Because I have indeed, it is not a fever dream. I remember it happening. I have seen them for $299. If it pops up at did I find it? No. If it pops up at $299 again, I will get one. I will get another one, and I will send it to Arkansas. I'm not even kidding. Like, it's just every one I pull out. It's just the same. I figure that these must be from these are from the RC Lions, and I never use these. Seven of them. These are 70 millimeter, which is far too short for what I need. Is that another one? I mean, you would think at a point I would just find one more. That's a different length. can't even hold on to them anymore. Got these really bent ones. Look at that. That's a real bend. That one is from the Comp Fox. I remember that one. Let me guess. It's even shorter. That's a 65. 75. This is how it goes. Link Olympics. There's another 70. Oh, I got some straight links in with my offset links. Now, we don't necessarily need we don't need high clearance for the front. And I just dug into the drawer. Found one. If we can find another. I don't know what I emptied out, but I've got a bunch of Traxxas links. What was that? 115. 115. What forward skid LCG chassis do you recommend? My friend is trying to convince me to build a Rum Runner, but they're so expensive for what you get. The Rum Runner is grotesquely expensive. It all comes down to budget. How much, the more you invest money-wise, generally the less you're going to have to invest time-wise. I haven't built my Mantis yet, but I have to assume that's going to be pretty good. It's definitely skid forward. Zoku FF is very good, but because it's built around Vanquish bits, means it's not going to be inexpensive to build it, because it's built around a VFD with a stubby kit on it, which is a couple $100 right off the top. But I have, like, if you pieced together something not using Vanquish, like if you put something offset in the front, like 10 Pro axles, like 10 Pro straights, which you could build off of Amazon, you put some 10 Pro straights under them and then like an OD3 in the middle of it, Zoku FF would be pretty good. Pretty good. And not terribly expensive. I didn't like the front line as much. I like the FF more than the front line. I don't know. I don't feel like I have an overwhelming, have you seen my all S tier Zoku FF build list? No, I have not. I found some very red dirt today, like blood red dirt. We don't have that here. I don't know about getting an FJ. I've only had my G63 TRX6 not even a year yet. I mean, they are pretty great, though. Any plans to build a Builder's Kit 3? Next time they go on sale, I'm going to order one. Because I noticed my Element parts bins and my Element spares are getting thin, real thin. Stealth X with Mias portals in an FF. Yeah, that's not bad. One of those blowers mounted at the front of a crawler pointing up. I'm currently building a lawless smooth criminal with AMK offset Capras, Amazon portal trans, and a secure combo. Yeah, should be fairly economical. Maybe a better question is how much thrust do they make? Any interest in the Boom Racing adjustable wheelbase builder's kit chassis? I saw it kept coming up for some reason. I don't know what algorithm I dabbled in, but it kept coming up on my Facebook, like these little clips of people like rebuilding them. Like, I don't know, it might have been RC Girl or another one of those. But somebody was building one of those adjustable wheelbase things. I'm telling you, Boom Racing is an absolute enigma, because when they make an axle, and or a chassis, those guys are throwing down artwork, but they can't make a tire to save their lives. Oh, yeah, I bought the VRD bumper set and the chassis bits, less than $30. Yeah. Mr. Scurvy is on it. So an FF chassis, and then you get the whole array of, you get those Vanquish plastics, put a skid in it with an LCG gearbox or a Stealth X. Yeah, throw some axles on that. You could build a very inexpensive skid forward. I don't know if I would go nylons. Nylons are a money-saving approach, but I don't know if I would go nylons because they're center pumpkin. But if you're on a Stealth X, it doesn't really matter. The temptation is now high to build a Stealth X FF, or at least an OD3 FF. This is a genuine Traxxas down to from Jenny's. I don't know, is it tighter? I feel like it might be a little bit tighter than the Mias. I mean, the Mias will hold up a whole axle. So you know that's tight. Bloop. Poverty. Nice. I guess when I do get an FJ, I'll hack up the TRX6 and make a jolly green. I think what you've done is I think you've laid out the perfect order of operations. Have you tried the KYX alloy axles? I might have. I've bought so many sets of fake Capras. Unless it's some other KYX alloys. Like I know they do more than one. Yeah, these are really, those are really, really tight. What's the benefit of the builder's kit? You don't have to pay for, that's the benefit of the builder's kit. You don't have to pay for tires to go straight to the trash. Yeah. Why does that cage look small? This is an R1 cage. It is small. It's very small. It's a little guy. But we're going to build it at a 330 wheelbase, or thereabouts. Well, I'll tell you right now. Yeah, these need to be, I feel like these need to be offset. I'm basically just keeping my hands busy. The skid needs work. None of these link lengths are going to be close. They're going to be at best maybe approximate. Looking at where the rear axle is now, well, I'll tell you in a second. I've got a set of chavs that should fit right on here, and we're going to go by shock angle. If the shock angle looks good on the chavs in the rear, we'll leave it. I can run a mix if I have to. Like I can run 95s or something and 105s or 110s. We can mix it up. I don't know. I basically want to see if we can get away with straight link with non-offset ends in the front. Yeah, it's actually not that far over. We just need to grind that chassis plate. Can you slash or other basher shocks on a crawler? Absolutely. Yeah, they're just going to be big. They're going to be really big. And in some things with nice vertical shock towers, you might have a little bit of a clearance issue. You'll have to run spacers on them. But yeah, shock is a shock. If you're building something big enough, Guillemot shocks, Ghoulie Moose shocks are just rift shocks with the threading taken off the outside. So we'd be right about there. That made it, that's really sharp. 315. 315? That doesn't look terrible. That would make me want to lank it out all the way around. Obviously, we're going to have to omit. We're going to have to move this brace up to one of these other holes because that's kind of where the servo wants to go. I was kind of hoping that I could knock the front out and the front end out far enough to where the servo is just clear of the chassis. Oh yeah, tracks. Yeah, big bores didn't even start as crawler shocks. I do forget about that. Yeah, factory slash shocks would be sprung a bit stiff, I would think. Yeah, it's mostly just it's mostly the springs, getting springs that are soft enough for what we do. The cage is almost a little too small. The thing about this cage is, well, like right there, in that view, that is over a 12.3 wheelbase. And it doesn't look ridiculous. I don't know. Do these have wheels in them? Yeah. So if we went with a normal size tire, like it's fairly proportionate, really. It doesn't look too bad. Will it hold it up? Almost. My hope and goal was 525s. 525s or 5.4s. Specifically 525 tusks. I think it can still get away with it. Because I think this cage, being so whee, if you put it next to this, I mean, pretty much no matter what, it's going to look like Mama Bear, Baby Bear. I think we can get away with it. I'm probably going to end up just lanking it out because I ordered this for another build and then didn't use it. I got big boys. We put this on some -10s. We're going to have them way out there. Our bearings are going to hate us. Is in the members chat on the Discord. I'm going to have to look it up. You're pretty talented for being able to do a live stream and build at the same time. I would struggle with this. I don't know. I don't know about that. I think too much credit has been given in that instance. I don't know. We can't. Can we, in clear conscience, go 315 wheelbase? It is dead 315. I wanted another 15 millimeters, and I want to say these fronts are 110s. The fronts are 115s, and the rears are 140s. The other option is stupidity. Stupidity. Never under. Oh yeah, H10 cage. I guess I'm used to seeing Gumby. That thing looks small. Yeah, the H10 cage is enormous. This, which is the Injora Capra cage, this fits inside an H10 cage. H10 cage is enormous. I just had another thought, which is this. What if we go? What will it do? What's going to happen? What will happen? I mean, no way to find out except to find out, am I right? What if? Follow me for more tips and tricks. Just wait. Just hold on. Has anybody ever built anything out of an R1 and went the dumbest route possible? But is it dumb? We don't know if it's dumb until we find out. What if we set our sights on that 330 wheelbase? That's about a 350, boss. 330 wheelbase. We set our sights right there. But instead of trying to pick a small differential, what if we put this basically all the way like that? So what if we get it to where the servo is basically under the hood, and then the rear is way out there. So then in the rear, we've got like 180s. And in the front, we've got 75s. Like, not just skid forward, like full cab forward. Like everything at the front. Because I asked this question. Because somewhere around here, I have the really super long links. I have links so long that they don't fit on anything else. Did I throw them in here? These are too long. These are too long for that. Like, I don't remember what these are from, but like, guys, what are we doing? These links are 190s. Now, I know that in the Mias bags, unused, I got some 125 high clearance, because a rear 180 link is going to need even longer than that. I got 130 straights. Now I got to find the... Well, you're slipping away from basic trainer. But am I? Skid forward doesn't inherently make it unstable. It's going to make it descend a little weird, but it's going to make it ascend more aggressively. My class 2 has 56 millimeter front lowers and 230 rear lowers. Well, there you go. There you go. And I definitely have the short links. For sure. I've got numerous bags of 45s. 45 high clearance, 40 high clearance. So now it's just a matter of finding a rear lower that will actually allow me to push it back that far. I don't know if I have a rear link long enough to push it back as far as I would like to, other than the ones that are too long, unless they're straight. And we can bend them. I do have heat in a bottle. I have nothing else to do with these ridiculously long links. So we can employ fire. Yeah, straight links front, high clearance rear is what I often build to, because more often than not, high clearance in the front doesn't... I use high clearance in the front more often as for clearance, like they're turned to the sides to clear a drive shaft or get it out of the way of a motor. Like, in terms of clearing the ground, I don't think a high clearance link in the front is... I don't think it's really helping. Particularly if the skid is even remotely pulled back towards the body. Is this a canyon use only trainer or a drive it on those? Well, there's the thing. I would never have her, like, this isn't trailing, so I would never hand her the controller for this 10 miles from the house and say, have a go. She would definitely have to try this on the home rock first, and then we can see if she gets the hang of it. And if it looks like it's going to be difficult, like we can start with misdirection. We can start with some other buggy and see how it goes from there. I feel like I've almost committed to building this thing regardless, just to see what happens. Because it's basically, short of the long of it is, its part's not being used for anything else. Okay, that big fella is 175. 175 sounds good to me. So, this is the beauty of it. I don't want to put it in unkind terms, but I think the most correct way to say it is she's never driven a buggy. So she has no preconceived notions. She is in what I think might be the best position to know whether this is any good or not. Because it's not always about, is it any good? It's about, does it mesh with your style? If it meshes with her style, then we're great. And if it doesn't, build something else. I feel pretty good about it. Oh yeah, no, four-wheel steer is right out. There's absolutely no chance of four-wheel steer because she basically doesn't have enough wheel time. When she has exhibited a comprehensive grasp of the use of reverse, then then we'll make other considerations. Are those new shock pliers? Yes, I wore my old set out. I threw them away. And I've already started to hammer on the jaws of these. Also, the little pivot point up here, it just usually threads into a little plastic bit. That part had... so these are already getting... I buy what are basically the cheapest ones I can find on Amazon, usually $13, $14. They last about a year. Then they're blown out. And then I throw them away and I buy a new pair. They are disposables. Because, and I think in the grand scheme of things, they're kind of designed to be exposables because you're grabbing with aluminum. You're just grabbing with something softer. And I use them, except for this part in the front, which I never use. I use the rest of it all the time. So, they are here for a good time, not for a long time. But they definitely improve the quality of life overall. Trial by fire on that super rock trail? No. That's just mean. The goal is not for her to say, I don't want to do this anymore. I will just bend these with a torch. Which means it will shorten the rear wheelbase a tiny bit. Not a lot. Because what I'll do is I would build it, get upper links fitted. Pro tip, build it, get upper links fitted to set the pinion angle, and then look at the height of that pinion and then bend the links so that we're not hanging the drive shaft down below. Because this thing with links level, I mean, that's a long slide back there. It looks like we're building a sand dragster. Okay, that's straight right there. I think this is one of those assemblies here where the rear upper looks like it might be longer than the rear lower because it's got to go across. 165? I'd say 165 if that's lined up. Yeah, 165-ish. Probably put the pinion at a good angle. Then we have important considerations. Are these shocks? And the shock that I had in mind is a 100. I think I've got. Do I have any 110s left? I mean, I can order some. 110s are. There is no shortage of Amazon 110s. Mo Trappo with the 5. Thank you for the 5. I think we might have it. Let us see. I was just looking for the shock pliers. I like four-wheel steer. It can get you into and out of a lot of trouble. Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. My problem is that more often than not, it gets me into more trouble than it gets me out of. It still vexes me. I don't know if that's going to bind. I genuinely don't. I don't know if this is going to bind. I mean, I can do the full conversion if I have to. Now I'm just thinking. I'm thinking too many steps ahead. It's not doing great. Where do you buy all the links from? Any particular brand? I tend to buy ones on Amazon, a link set called RC Lions. I do a 313 set and I do a 324 set. Has a variety of links. I tend to use pretty much all the lengths. But, as you can see, it eventually, inevitably gets me into trouble because then I'm looking for all the lengths of links, which is difficult to say. I'm looking for the lengths of links that I don't have. Kind of where we are right now. I'm fudging with shocks. Bear with me for a moment. Come on, you can do it. There we go. I'm honestly amazed I'm holding up as well as I am. I think this is the longest I've stood in one span this week. Because if you're feeling poorly, you take it easy, right? No! You film extra videos because you're pretty sure that you'll be physically recovered by next week. And I want to go to the beach. We haven't been to the beach in like 2 years. So I want to go to the beach. I want to ride my boogie board. Sit on the sand. Shock keys are an option. I grabbed a shock out of the drawer. Now I'm trying to find the other one. Remember when I said I grabbed a shock? Well, now I can't find his partner. This is because Kit Crawlers said that he wouldn't be able to live stream and build something at the same time. So now I've rendered myself incapable of building something and live streaming at the same time. I lost a whole shock. This is a shock to no one, least of all me. And I'm doing the thing, bona fide madness, where I'm just spinning around in the same spot like a dog, expecting it to just materialize in front of me. And I don't think that's going to happen. So then we start putting things away. Because the chavs I have that are very long are actually hundreds. And if I want to push the rear axle back as far as I want to push it, I don't think hundreds are long enough. I think I'm going to need 110s or more likely 120s. I think we're doing a pretty off-the-wall 525 build. Bruce and Sheila at the beach. We would have to work our way up to that. We'd have to work our way up to that. The moment that you spend 20 minutes to find the tool you just had for a 5-minute job. Oh, my goodness. I do know where Mike Cross is from. He's from the land of LC80s and Dragon Eggs. He's where the Hobbits are from. Middle Earth. I found it! Found it. I perhaps didn't mean to sound quite that excited when I found it, but I was that excited when I found it. Of all the things I've lost, it's my mind I miss the most. Mini 16 update in Rainbird. The Mini 16 has been out of Rainbird since Crawlympics. When he did one of his final runs in Crawlympics, the Mini 16 had already been removed. There is no reliable way that you can run 3S through that 3000 and have a reasonable amount of wheel speed. Oh yeah, the Mini 16 is whittle. Real little. To the point where I don't think a lot of people fully grasp how small it is. As a matter of fact, got one right here. Did I open the box? When I had the box earlier, did I open the box? I might open the box. Yeah, Mini 16. Thumb for scale. Whee! What did you recently? I put the Dynamic 380 in the kit crawler. The KKV1 is fitted with the Dynamic. Not running off of a Furatech. It's running off of a Secure. It's running off of an Escape 70. What do you think of the new cheat code Mias axles that Exo is promoting? I think that 5 millimeters narrower in the rear is what they call hoopla. 100% hoopla. Because, I mean, it's too bad that something doesn't exist that is very inexpensive, usually around $10 for a set of 4, that allows you to change your wheel track to basically like whatever you'd want it to be. And also, we don't have the ability to buy wheels that have different offsets to them. Like there aren't positive and negative offset wheels. It's a shame that these things don't exist and that we have to resort to axles that are a couple millimeters wider or narrower than other axles. I've heard of the fire hazard stuff with Furatech. Yeah. Be wary. Would the Mini 16 be a good motor for the UTB 18? I genuinely believe that the Mini 16 was designed specifically for the UTB 18. It is designed to be run on that with on a 2S, on that little square 2S battery that comes in a UTB 18. I think that it's basically an all-in-one solution, and if anything else, You buy one of those $20 Amazon all metal gearboxes, put your Fusion Mini 16 in it, and just run it, and then you're just happy. The UTB 18 needs very little, and the Fusion Mini 16 is pretty much there for it. UTB 18 is amazing on 3S. Yeah, 3S on 3000 kV. Yeah, you can achieve low Earth orbit. And I don't own 2S batteries, so I attempted to get Rainbird down as slow as I could. He just didn't have enough gear reduction. I'm searching for wider wheels. Boom Racing does them in pro builds, and you can also find them on Amazon if you search ferociously. You can get, they look normal, but they have 10 millimeter, they have 35 millimeter inner rings, so 10 millimeters, well, 11 millimeters wider. I have them in Argentum, and no one would ever know if I didn't tell them. I don't even completely recollect why I had to have the wider wheels on there, but I replaced his original wheels, his turbines, with the same wheel but wider. We were doing the Mount Rubidoux night hike, and I get the wife, look, I said, cool, can I bring a rig? I guess I'm not bringing a rig. Got that wife look when I said, cool, can I bring a rig? And she just gives you the look. I've been at Mount Rubidoux like one time in my life when it wasn't overwhelmingly crowded. I don't know what it is. I want to say the second to most recent, the most recent I went by myself. If you go at like 5:30 in the morning, you can ride your bike to the top of Mount Rubidoux, and at most you'll pass like one jogger, because there's nobody out there yet. But if you go at the normal time when people go, oh my God. It's there's a density level to how many people are there. And we're just walking to the top of a hot hill. Did I just do it again? I just did it again. I'm rebuilding the same shock over and over again because I keep popping the rod ends into the wrong shock. I get the wife look on a daily for almost anything. Yep. You can tell. You can tell. There's easy offsets, though. That's the real upside to it. It's easy to offset. You just agree to go places that they want to go that you don't want to go. And then when you're there, you don't complain about it. And you build credits. You build credits. When she says, hey, do you want to come with me? I have to go to this place. And you know how to read the subtext because you've been in country for a while. I've been in country for a while. So you know how to read the subtext, which means we're not just going to that one place. We know we have no chance that we're just going to that one place. We're going to a bunch of places, and it's going to take all afternoon. What you got to do is you just got to tank it. You just tank it. Because it's like you're depositing it to earn the interest. Because then, when you ask for something, you have like a 13 to 15% higher chance of getting what you asked for. It's all investments, and investments don't always work out for us. Okay, it's going to be impossible to tell. What did I say? 165? Wow, Kit Crawler's only been married for a little over a year. Whoa. 33. 33 in December. The wife and I have been married for 33 years. We've been married long enough that she doesn't approve of me saying, "Oh, we've been together this long." She's like, "Shut up." So, so there's that. I also have to be particularly careful not to say things like, "Oh, we've been together for this many decades, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. We've been together through 5 decades." She just gives you that, they get the wives of perfect, they get the squint. They give you that little squint. We're all lucky. We're all lucky to make it out alive. You all significant others have dreams where you did something bad and they stay mad at you about it. I think that's all women. I think all women do that. Yeah. Luckily, we have a cat. I mean, I've talked about Frank. We have a cat that Frank the cat irritates the wife while she tries to sleep. So she often has dreams where Frank is my stand-in her dreams. So Frank is the one that does the stuff that gets her riled up, and then I get clear. So, well, on the one hand, Frank is a punk. If Frank is going to take some of the heat, go for it, my man. But no, she has definitely woken up mad at me. And you usually fall right into the man perspective, which is, I've been asleep. What did I do? Which doesn't tend to work out better for you. If anything, that tends to make them more mad. But they're all a little cuckoo. I never said that. Jeez, Aloo. We're heading right back down the same avenue where none of these links are longy enough. Sometimes I forget that the swamp cooler pulls air in from the outside, because sometimes I get a little like a hot plastic smell. And when I'm in this building and I get a hot plastic smell, I get a little nervous. Jeez. I haven't been able to find a link over 130. I basically need like a 125 straight, something like a 125, 130, if I want to keep that rear axle pushed out that far. You said it, we heard it, and it's forever on the YouTube. What did I say? My son says he never wants to go shopping with mom. He says it's a trap. That's why I like to go shopping with you, Dad. You just get in the stuff and you leave. Yeah, but you got it. If you've been in country long enough, what you learn to do is you can slip away. You can slip away. And then when you show back up and you're eating like a frozen yogurt or a hot pretzel, she's like, "Where did you go?" And then you just go, "I found it on the ground." And then you eat your hot pretzel while they continue to shop. That's why, like, if she says, "I need to go to the mall," I go, "Okay." And we go down to the mall. And some of it's going to be boring. And she's going to ask for my opinion in some spots where I don't understand how my opinion is valuable or valid. But, on the one hand, I'm just kind of happy she's still asking. When they stop asking for your opinion, I think is when you have cause for concern. And the mall has all sorts of good stuff in it. There's not one, but there's 2 places where you can get a hot pretzel or pretzel bites. Get some Cinnabits. You know, you gotta. There's no place that's so terrible. Like, I can even wander around an Ulta or a Sephora. Thank God my wife is more of an Ulta woman. I can wander around an Ulta and my brain doesn't even melt because it's just a hobby store for girls. That's all it is. Look at all the tiny little things. Like, it's where that real double standard rears its head the ugliest. If you ask a woman to go to the hobby store with you, she will go, ugh. But she'll drag you to an Ulta. Like, what's the difference? She needs to adopt that male mindset and just wander around and find something to look at. That's how we all stay conscious, you know? Yes, if we stop asking your opinion, that's bad. Yeah, it's true. And a female staple is they put on the dress. They say to you, how does this look? They got me again. So I'm still finishing off that batch of links that Mias had sent me. Can you see it? Come on. You see what I'm rolling? If it'll help, we'll roll another one. Do you see the walking stair step? This is threads. This is just rings. So they're not threads. It didn't thread it. So this link and therefore its partner These are stainless or titanium. They're really light. These are useless. I've had like 3, rolling some splines. These are splined on the end. I've gotten, I think, 3 pairs out of the Mias bags that are exactly this. And those are 125s, which are the exact length that I need. So, somewhere, I have a second. Ooh, what about in 4 milli? How long is this? Oh, that's really short. It's like 100. Ooh, what about turnbuckles? Well, I do not have the pieces to build this. I don't know if that's become clear to anyone else, but it's really becoming increasingly clear to me. I had one of those today on the Mantis. Just threads. Rolling splines. When I went to prom with a friend, she came to me and said, I want your honest opinion about how I look in my prom dress. And my young, dumb male mind said, okay, cool, I can do that. Oh, no. Oh. My honest opinion came out of my mouth. The words fat, stuff in a can were used. Oh. Did you not get to go to that prom? When they drag you to the store, that's where you go to find something weird and off the wall, and you bring it back and you kind of look at it and be like, huh? Can I show it to them? Like, oh, no. Heat up the ring end and heat set a rod on that side. What size eye-to-eye steering link do you use for the element servo on axle? It varies. It depends on which way you have your servo. I tend to put it over on the long side. So typically in the neighborhood of 90 millimeters. Right about 90 millimeters. That is for servo and axle, yes. I went to the prom. She didn't say another word to me, didn't even want the picture taken with me. Oh. Mr. Raccoon, you gotta know. You gotta know. When she says she wants your honest opinion, that's not actually what that's not actually what she wants. She wants a confirmation of bias above anything else. You can get away with a little bit. You've got some leeway, but for the most part, no, she's not. She's not looking for a genuine opinion. I was young and dumb. I hadn't learned yet. That's true. That's true. That is an acceptable excuse. We'll take it. Yeah, it doesn't matter how you shake it. It's like 165. It's 165. What links are you using for dig servos? On what? Typically, I make an effort, if it's available, I make an effort to make the dig linkage as short as possible, and then that's just two blitz ends butted up against each other. That's too dark. It's too dark. That's just two blitz ends butted up against each other. Like I try to get that as short as possible. And most importantly, on a dig linkage, you want the end of the servo arm. Pretend that this is the end of the servo arm, and you want the end of the dig linkage to be like straight across from one another, so that when they move together, they move to. That looks terrible. When they move together, they move together. When they're off like this or like this, it can make the dig engagement and disengagement kind of, which is apparently a thing that manufacturers have never noticed, because they put those things like some of the axial ones. Here's the end of where your servo horn comes out, and then here's the attachment for the dig linkage, or it's way up here like this, so that linkage is at like an angle like that, and you want it like that. I don't know why they make it so hard. Honesty is the best policy. She should not learn to ask what she doesn't want to know. Now, you see, that is spoken like a man on the move, and not a man that's been with the same woman for a long time. You learn, leading among things you learn is, what answer do they want? Now, I have been in ultimately long enough. I've been in a long time, a real long time, longer than many. So I know, too long again, that's a 135. I know what she's asking for. I know what answer she wants. But if I genuinely don't think that is the answer, I'm not going to give her that answer. Like, if the back of the dress doesn't look right, and she's getting a little of the chicken cutlet action, and you don't tell her, brother, that pendulum's going to swing right back around on you. So, choose your battles, you know? Sometimes honesty is always the best policy, is a phrase spoken by someone who's never met a woman. Because sometimes it gets real. It gets real a few good men, and they cannot handle the truth. What is it? There's some bloke that's got a thing about the mental checklist you should run through before you say something. You know, does this Does this improve anything? Like why am I saying this? And if somebody asks a question, does it mean you have to just outright answer it? Thanks for the relationship advice, Dad. Hey, I'm working on it. I try not to give my children any relationship advice. It must be as hot as a firecracker outside because the temperature indoors has crept up to 81.3. Here's my problem. Because my male brain now tells me, she says be honest, but don't actually be honest. But she gets mad at me for lying to her, so if I'm not honest, then I'm lying. Okay, listen, raccoon. Women cannot see black and white. They only see shades of gray. Okay? So it's not about absolute truths. Okay? If she asks you, where have you been? That's a situation where she's looking for a specific answer. When she asks you, does this dress make me look fat? She's looking for a specific answer. And I think in your raccoon heart of hearts, you know what that answer is. Please be threads on both ends of these. Double threads and double threads. Okay. I didn't keep track well enough to know if this is statistically correct. But if the ones that have splines on it, I think they were all high clearance. I don't know if I've gotten any messed up straight ones yet. So anybody out there, anybody that's gotten a Mias link that is splined and not threaded, was it a straight one or was it a high clearance one? I mean, if you're going to say, yes, you look fat in that dress, you might as well just take it up to the next level and be like, don't worry, babe. It's not that dress that makes you look fat. It's you that makes that dress look fat. And then the coroner will be like, I wonder what he said. What do you think his last words were? They'll be like, probably something smart ass. And they'd be right. It's not the dress that makes you look fat. It's all the cake you eat that makes you look fat. Yeah. There are three answers. The husband answer, what she wants, and the truth. 100%. There's that dude with his wife on Facebook that they've made a cottage industry out of retelling jokes of that order. But do you want the husband answer or the truth? I think I have one that the rod end is. I got Miast again. Look at this. Da 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 da. What if we go the other way? Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Oh, we got it. Now, that rod end is now straight in the trash. It doesn't have any threads in it anymore. I'm still having this real issue running out of rod ends. Babe, I like chunky women. Woo! Jesus. That is. Woo! CK Graphics, straight 65 millimeter. All right. So it's not unique to the high clearance. I haven't had it happen on a high clearance yet, on a straight yet, but I'm sure it will. Then tell her she's just like her mother. Yeah. They love that. My wife is nothing like her mother. Nothing. As I'd mentioned in the past, she's one of 8. There's 8 of them. And some of them got way more of the dad DNA. And some of them got way more of the mom DNA. So she's Mexican-Irish. And she works with a lot of proper Hispanics at work. And they'll be like, you don't look Mexican. You ain't brown. You ain't real brown. She's like, I'm probably more brown than you are. Like, I've seen pictures of her grandfather, and that gentleman just looked like a native, right? Looked like a full Native American. Tiny little man, like 5'1". So she's like, they're telling me that I don't look Hispanic. And I was like, I don't know, you look a little bit Hispanic. I go, you don't look Hispanic standing next to your mother, but you do look Hispanic standing next to your father, who looks like an Irishman. And she goes, hey, go on Google and look up an Irish woman. And I did a Google image search for Irish woman, and like the second or third image that came up was basically just my wife. And I was like, oh my God, that's you. And she goes, that is me. Same hairline, same hair color, same face shape, same lip shape. So my wife got predominantly the Irish part of it. And she came from a specific generation where shame. And they didn't teach, like my wife, I understand more Spanish than my wife does. Because there was a time where, you know, if you spoke Spanish, that meant you were one of the poor kids. So none of them speak Spanish. If you got to lie to your wife, get a new wife. Oh, no. Everybody needs lied to. Everybody needs lied to. It's not just women. Everybody needs lied to. A lot of us can't handle the truth. The truth is often uncomfortable. Now, we don't want to be lied to about, you know, the big stuff. When you say, what took you so long? Where were you? You don't want to get lied to. But when you're like, oh my God, am I as fat as I think I am? Am I that fat? Like, do I cast shadows over school children? You want somebody to be like, I mean, you put on a couple pounds, but no, the wife is black Irish. Her hair is jet black. Her father has the blue eyes of an Irishman. And not a single one of her or any of her siblings got any eye color other than brown. All 8 of them, brown eyes. Not even light brown, just brown. Like, you know, 90% of the planet. But, here's another one to add to your imaginary police sketch. I got blue eyes, and neither one of my kids got blue eyes. Blue eyes are, I mean, I would call it beneficial to a degree. But I have to wear the darkest sunglasses known to man just to go outside right now. I have Oakleys with 97% tint. Because it is real bright. But neither my wife nor any of my children have anything approaching night vision. They go outside in the dark and they're just blind. And I'm just walking along. So, blue-eyed devil. Don't call your girlfriend a heifer. No, that seems like a really, really bad idea. There's no way that that could be misinterpreted. I think most women know what a heifer is. I think I got lucky. I steered clear of the completely crazy. Oh, I've said more than once that I got the best one. Out of the 8, I definitely got the best one. Sometimes people do need to hear the truth. Stu Knott is half Mexican but doesn't speak it. That's the wife. Neil Daniels is in London, which, if my limited knowledge of the United Kingdom, is fairly far from Ireland by English standards. I've met both your wife and nothing like her mom at all. That is true. Absolutely true. I've been to London once for 2 days, but can't remember much. Stayed drunk the whole time. I'm assuming the military was involved. My grandpa, dad, and me all have had brown eyes. None of my kids do. Robert S., your wife's genes just punched your genes out, which is what happened with all of my wife's siblings, because their mother has, you can't even call them brown eyes. She's got those shark eyes. They're brown, but they're so dark. And like I say, I've been around for a minute. She just keeps getting shorter and shorter. She's so short. Like, to me, she's always been short. And there's something compensatory. There's something compensatory in the female DNA. I don't know specifically what does it, but like all of the I think we're still out too far. These are sprung for droop, so I got to keep pulling them down. That's not bad, but we kind of, this is going to be way past level. Articulation is going to be tough to come by. I don't know. We're just going to keep punching in. The rear upper is indeed, I built it to 165, and it needs to be a little bit longer than a 165 because we've got the pinion angle pretty much even with the lower link. But because of the way this suspension pulls, you know what? Actually, it might be fine. It might be fine. This is is this a 110 shock or a 120 shock? I just pulled them out of the bin. These are courtesy of Mr. Truitt, and these are 120s. These are 120s. To get any droop out of this, we either need to shorten up the whole rear end, or we need to go to a shock longer than a 120. Those are not particularly common. It just looks so funny with those shocks pulling it all the way up. Although, I guess that's full droop, but we can only droop it down to Link's level. There's not a, yeah, just bend the lowers. Oh yeah! He's absolutely, he's right, you know. He's right, you know. When we bend these lowers, it will shorten the lower up a little bit, and then it's gonna rotate that pumpkin. And then, most likely, if one lines up, we may have the easiest fix here. I think we do have the easiest fix here. Don't talk about blue eyes. We don't want another American Eagle firestorm. What about William Eyelash? You know, Billie Eilish saying that she just thought it was neat to be around, to be in a place where everybody looks like her because she's Irish, and the portion of the internet that got in an uproar over it. And I was like, people really, well and truly, will find out. Somebody will find outrage out of anything, out of absolutely anything. Perhaps, I mean, see, fixed. Probably one of the more innocuous statements anybody could have made. I know you're building stuff, but can we talk to Baseline for a moment? I want to ask him how he's feeling after his spa day. By the way, that video made him really seem to be part of the family. So after his spa day, he felt great. And then what transpired was all of the things you haven't seen yet. So coming up, there's 120 people that will get a schedule. Ordinarily, I put this in a members post, but you're here, and I'm going to the beach next week. So today is August 8th. You are towards the end of a live stream. We've only got about 25 minutes left. In 1 hour is a Crawler Canyon quick view of the Red Cat Interco IROC Super Swamper. That is today. Tomorrow, 4 p.m., the normal time, is a quick view of the 1.9-inch Terpador, the Trepadors that have their name misspelled, which is baseline, back-to-back baselines. Sunday is cabs, but this cabs is called the triple header. It features Victor, the one that we saw out on the bench a little bit earlier. Monday, it came from the workbench, volume 61, episode 2. That is the one that's not the one that I built for here. That's Roger Maris. That's 61. The RC Zilla build. That's Monday. Tuesday, second episode of Crawler Canyon Breakdowns. Wednesday will, of course, be Wheelin' Wednesday. Hopefully, you will see this on Thursday for Driver's Ed. If not, I have to figure something out. That's not recorded yet. Next Friday, we're 7 days out now. Live stream at noon. 4 p.m. Quick View. Spectrum. Firma 1400 2-in-1 at 4 p.m. on Friday. Saturday. Quick View. OT6 KLR X4. That's on Saturday. Sunday. Cabs 22. Monday. It came from the workbench, volume 62, episode 2. That is the servo and axle lightweight guy that was built for here. As I said, if you're not feeling good, film a whole bunch of videos. There are also 3 videos recorded that have not been edited, so obviously not uploaded. I should have reversed that. Not uploaded nor edited. And I have 2 more videos to film. Have Mrs. C drive RoboKitty if you don't finish this build. RoboKitty's 4-wheel steer. The best bet, if this isn't done, will be Misdirection. I think Misdirection is probably the safest. Capra caged, straight axles, sticky tires, not overwhelmingly overpowered. That's going to be my safest bet. Yeah, Red Cat Army. Red Cat Army is going to be so happy with me. What is a day without the Red Cat Army? Good old Red Cat Army. If I were to tell you right here and now, if I were to tell you that the most disliked video of the month was the quick view of the SSM16, you'd be stunned, right? You'd be stunned to find out that people disliked that. Couldn't even believe it myself. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. If you are among this number, know that I mean it with love. But if you were one of the people that would actively put a dislike on a video for a tire which is inexcusably terrible, for whatever reason, for whatever feelings you have in your heart about Red Cat, I consider that to be weaponized ignorance. Because at that point, no, that's not weaponized, it's willful. It's weaponized and it's willful, because you know that it don't work good, and you know that there are options that are better, but you still make choice. There we go. Yeah, a little bit of bend in those rears, and we're gonna be golden. Once we get some weight out on those corners, I think that, you know what? I think that'll be okay. Out of the 3 1.9 Red Cat tires from Benchfield, are the IROCs the better out of the 3? Like this. It's marginal. There's a little bit. There's a smattering of existential crisis. When when it comes to doing red cap videos. We get into the weeds a little bit. Who put the dislike on your videos? Oh, a lot of people. A lot of people. Realistically, I would say it's not uncommon across the whole channel, end to end, depth, width, and breadth. I would say probably 2 dislikes per video. Go back to the thought you had. I had when I said something about bringing your other one. Something, well, at the store. I don't understand that. Filled rock crawling tires should fall into the category of trail only. And even then, like, that's the perfect definition. It's right here. Here's the best definition of it. I can still remember. The Proline G8 Trepidor scored like a 92 something in the quick view. And if you buy an FJ40, this is the tire. Like, they're perfect. As soon as she said you should build me you should build me a Bruce, is what she said. Build me a Bruce and paint it pink. These were literally one of the first things that I ordered. I ordered a set of these because they fit that thing perfectly. I would run no other tire on my FJ than those. Now, I wouldn't run those tires on anything else. There's no reason to. But they're basically perfect on the FMS FJ. These 2 links I'm trying to get lazy over here, and I found some links. I found some Traxxas links, and I'm trying to make them work. Bonita Creek got a, what do I call him? I was talking to Erwin about this. We know why Erwin's not here. He's off drinking limoncello somewhere. Erwin got one where they had just uploaded a short and he got like 5 dislikes on it. And he was like, how do you get 5 dislikes on a short? And I was like, brother, you have not begun to scrape the surface. I mentioned bringing your significant other something weird off the wall. Oh, yeah. I take it one step better. I'm in the women's section. I'm in a Macy's. I don't know if all y'all in other parts of the world have Macy's. It's a department store. It has a fairly substantial selection of women's clothing. You go over to the women's clothing. Wherever your wife is shopping, at some point, it will get too close to the big and tall section. You go over to the big and tall section, you start trying on the coats. They hate it, man. They hate it, but there's nothing you can say because you're having a good time. And I will find some big lady coats and I will try them on. And you know, it basically comes down to that. It's a fundamental phrase. You got to make it fun. You got to make it fun. And trying on a size, also in women's clothing, I wear like a size 20 skirt. So if I was a woman, I'd be a 20, apparently, in skirt. I mean, I'm pretty big. I'm definitely not small. What's going on with Hugo? Hugo has found girls, I guess. He's got his internship thing coming. I don't know if that's underway. I don't know what any of the background is on any of that. We'll get him back. We'll get him back eventually. He messaged me on Instagram a couple days ago saying that he was kicking himself because he hasn't made any changes to the website in like a while. And I was like, I don't care. I haven't looked at the website in a while. So he's young and he's got stuff to do. And I'm like, do your stuff, brother. Live that youthful life for the rest of us. For the coffee drink. Oh, I'm so looking forward to it. My belly, I will point out again, because, you know, you're here. You're a semi-captive audience. My belly is still not 100% right. I have had the dysfortitude for the better part of a week, and I'm gonna drink that coffee drink, and it's gonna make me sad. Is Victor the name for the Lone Ranger build? Yeah. I feel like I'm saying. I feel like, on the one hand, I'm like, well, you should know that. Like, we talked about this, and then the more rational part of my brain goes, you filmed a video, so maybe you didn't talk about it with them. Maybe that was a you and the camera thing. So this is the problem. This is why my modus operandi is not to film 7, 8, 9, 10 days out in advance, because I can't remember what I said about what, nor when I said it. Did I say it in a live stream? Did I say it in a video? I have no idea. So y'all know what's coming. Watch what you will. I'm just trying to make 2 links that are the same length. I don't know why it's so hard. Maybe the thumbs down is for the product, not the review. I feel like it isn't. I had a blanket bomber. I had a proper blanket bomber for a while. They get tired and they give up, right? But a blanket bomber is, anybody with a YouTube channel has this potentially to look forward to. What they will do is, not only will they subscribe to your channel, but they will turn on notifications and they will ring the bell. And when you post a video, you will get a dislike on that video within 40 minutes of that video going live. Every single video. Boom. Video, dislike. Video, dislike. Video, dislike. And what they don't understand is that while it damages us psychically, we take a little bit of psychic damage from each of those. In the grand YouTube scheme of things, it don't mean a damn thing, because YouTube doesn't know the difference between likes and dislikes. All they see are POE, points of engagement. So little does that person know that while they're making that somewhat concerted effort to be a big, angry, wrinkly bunghole, they're just positively affecting your channel. So, while my wife is very smart and she says things like, do not engage, when those people are saying stupid things and they make stupid comments and they do all those things, the wife says, do not engage, and she's very smart when she says this. Ignore that. Ignore that. Engage. Engage. Don't be mean, but hey, Chuck with the 99 cents. But absolutely engage. Because if you can rile them up enough to where they respond back, and let's be honest, they almost never do. They almost never, ever do. But if you can get them to respond back a couple times, it's just engagement. It's additional points of engagement, and YouTube will reward you for it. Because comment responses are valuable. They like that it's going back and forth. Does someone say, is that a turd or a yogurt? What? You don't get great without making enemies along the way. It's a sign you're doing something right. Yeah. Oh, I see it now. It's way over on the chat. That is, I mean, it could be either. It's that guy on RC Crawler who said, I can't watch that dude's videos, too much incoherent rambling. I haven't been on RC Crawler in like 3 years. I hope he was talking about me. Because as I've said in the past, I'm just happy to be included, you know. I just want to be in the game, coach. That's all. As I tell the unhappy people in the comments, if there's a place where you want, if you want a place to go where you can just hear your idea thrown back into your face, bias confirmation, where you can hear what you want to hear. They're all over the internet, man. They're all over the internet. There are more than a couple of channels out there that are like, this new Vanquish Phoenix is a game changer. They're changing the game. And meanwhile, anyone rational is like, oh, we've hit a snag. We've hit a snaggeroo. That being, we've kind of achieved. Have you tried the Radio Link 1.9? Oh! Yes. You need to make a second one. Hey, designer guy. I have a bunch of these. Like a lot. I probably have 10 or 12 of these. Where you made it for 6-bolt, make a 12 millimeter hex. Just the same exact layout, but put a 12 hex on it. Like, I have a pile right here. Like, different styles. These could all just be steering wheels. So that's my mission to you, should you decide to accept it. The same exact adapter that you made now. I could just grab it. This is what he's talking about. So the Potato Man, the Sputter Crawler, he made these adapters. They go on a radio link, and then you just literally bolt your wheel to it. I tried it with the whole wheel. This was a leftover. This is one of the Dash RCs that's left over from Jolly Green. This should be on Jolly Green's radio. Damn it. I need to go put this on Jolly Green's radio because these are his wheels. And it's pretty great. I like that it moves it out a little bit because for me, it's a little bit more comfortable. This is nice. This is nice. But I have way more of these. Did you see that link to Flash Hobby? Yeah, I did. Thank you, Charles, for sending that. Yes. If I wasn't broke as a joke, I already would have ordered it because most likely that's what's going in this. This is going to get a Flash Hobby 60. Now, that is an 80 millimeter front link. And it looks like it's got the derp. Well, I mean, they can be on Thingiverse, but he already made. Do you think your wife will want a Jolly Green one day? I wouldn't outright say no, but it feels unlikely. So these are what his look like. These are the Sputter Crawler ones. I grabbed two of the same. Oh no, are they the different thing? Yeah. He made like different offsets. But I need one where instead of 6 bolts, it's just got a 12 millimeter hex right there. I would love it if the wife wanted a 6x6. But I don't think I would go, I wouldn't go all the way to build her one. I would save a bunch of money and I would find out what body she liked and I would get that body and fit it to it and paint it whatever color she liked. Because I've already got 2 here. I feel like I could realistically get away with one more. Maybe one more. So with the 85 fronts, which would actually be down here, the shock mounts, all of the shock mounts except for one are in front of the axle. And that one needs a 100, which I do have, but something with a 90. Are those on the same plane? No. Could I key that back? Well, what are we at for wheelbase here? What is going on? It must be the angle. We're at 318. So these front lowers are 80s. I thought they needed to be like 75s. I accidentally made 80s. We actually need like a 92, 95 in the front. I'm absolutely fine with that because the other pair of shocks that I have are Desert Lizard 100s. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So what we're going to do, I'd like to use that hole right there. We're going to lengthen that front out about, yeah, Bonita Creek just said stretch the front 30 millimeters. Yeah, I'm going to stretch the front between 20 and 30 millimeters. See where that comes out, because when they're in this tight, look at that front drive shaft. Yikes. We'll get it out to usable drive shaft length. We'll go out about 20, 30 millimeters on the front, which will allow us to run these 100s in the front, 120s in the back. It'll get us that 330 wheelbase. We'll be doing it. Yeah. Yeah. And the uppers will definitely not interfere with a pancake. But, ooh, I need to mount up a servo in it. If I mount up a servo in it, I might be able to get a fusion in there. I don't think at full compression, I don't think the front uppers will hit a Fusion SE. We can get that 1800 in there. And then we'll put big old Wompers. We'll put big 22s. I have made... This place was so clean. Oh my God, what a mess I've made. And probably... Oh, look at that. These set of wheels already have them. I can mock one up in 4 minutes. How do you think Jolly Green would do when you trail? I think he'd do great. He just, he was basically built around a 2200. So I would have to carry a pocket full of batteries, but that'd be the only real drawback. And the other guy runs on an 850, so like I never had any intention of, wow, that really snapped together. There's no screws in that or anything. I never really had any intention of those guys escaping the yard. If I had, I might have made some different decisions. Also, Jolly Green is set at a modest level with 20%-ish overdrive, underdrive. That's a little bit more than you want to trail with. I think out on the trail you're good up to about 10. Here's what it is. Here's what it is. I'm not. Why am I worrying about if the tires are facing the right way? Right. It does not matter. I would be on this quest to build the ultimate trail rig, but Bruce blindsided me and tackled me to the ground. And like when I think about heading out on a Wednesday, I don't think about really taking anything else. Yep. I'm going to say that like 20 or 25 millimeters forward. We might be a hair over 330. We need to put at least one screw in each wheel or they are just going to fall apart. The best oil I found for the Desert Lizard is Losi 35. I was always using Losi 40. What would be the issue with trailing baseline with Jade? The issue with that would be baseline already works too hard. I would say Gate Rover or Dana Zool. Because they're basically the same thing. Stealth X's, full element platforms. Hopefully you still have the Spark for Color Canyon 1.5. I can't Get those, enjoy the tiny tires. Oh no, like I say, we've got 2. There will guaranteed be at least 1 more. Yeah, that front just needs pushed out just a little bit. Look at that little crazy guy. RC Zilla missed the entire live stream. A 30-minute hike turned into over 2.5 hours because bears got between myself and my truck. That is those typical excuses, always talking about bears. It's always bears. The Banana is now the Gate Rover again. The Banana got turned back into the Gate Rover. Some parts got dizzied, moved out, distributed out into the fleet. The body is hanging up in the rafters. Sound module got taken out, but the servo went into the Zool. Yeah, everything got moved around, and Gate Rover got resurrected because I would rather have that axial Cherokee body sitting on a shelf than that custom painted green Defender body that I spent way too much money putting together. Those interior cages like 330 to 365. Yeah, we're probably going to be about 335 or so because we're going to move the front out an inch-ish if just to get that shock to line up right. And then I thought that we were going a ridiculous amount of kick out to the back, but oh, he did mention the rock claws. The rock claws would look good on this. I just sent 12 of those 12mm hexes to the printer, be done in 45 minutes. I didn't know these were things. I don't do this type of stuff. I do feel it's weird. So I printed so many of the radio hangers that Matthew designed. He doesn't have like a name. It's weird. Everybody online is supposed to have an online name. He's just Matthew on the Discord. He's the guy that does US Revolt. He designed a Radio Link, an RC4, RC6 hanger for me, and I printed like 18 of them, and I used like 14 of them. I went through a whole spool of PETG printing those things out, and ever since I finished that, I haven't had anything else to print out, and now I feel like I had gotten so used to the sound of the printer whirling. There it is, Matthew. Yeah, I didn't know he was here. Very sneaky. His name is just Matthew. So we did something. I don't feel like it was all for naught. I don't know what it was. Something. We did something. Was it something? I don't know. And I'm fine with running over a few minutes today because, well, let me go on my security. Let me go on my Ring cameras. I think the wife's car is still gone. I can't see from this camera. Yes, the wife's car is still gone. The wife had a doctor's appointment today at like 1:30. So until I see motion at the at one of the doors, all the doors are covered. Until I see motion at one of the doors, I know I'm not getting, as they say in Dutch with the wife. We're up to 82. Wait. That's just the wind. That's just the wind. It said there's a person at your car, at your carport entry. Nope, that's just the wind. Can I see from this camera? No. So she could sneak up on me. Well, she can't sneak in here. But she could sneak into the house. She's very crafty. So that gives me an opportunity to clean up my mess. It's so clean in here. Oh my God, guys. Did you put the inserts in Jolly Green too? Yes. That video is up a long way away. That video is up 8, 9, 10, 11. That video is up on the 18th. Because you would think, oh, you're just going to the beach one day. Come on. She's taking 2 days off of work. So the beach is one day, and she has not unleashed upon the souls of mine nor mine children what the other day will be. But I will say, I will admit this openly, as this is my confessional, that I hope that somebody gets a proper sunburn so that we don't have to go anywhere, at least sunny. Like if she says that she wants to go to like South Coast Plaza or something on the next day, that's great. I'm absolutely fine with that. Someplace indoors. If she wants to go someplace indoors, I'm 100% on board. I know where she really wants to go. She really wants to go to Disneyland. Did you find out what that dinosaur bird was? No. And I'm terrified. I hope it never shows back up. Because there was the one that was walking around on the roof over here has to be the same one that was making those ridiculous prehistoric bird noises during the driver's ed video. Ever since Gage was gone, man, we get the craziest wildlife out here. I have a love-hate relationship with Ring. Same. Hey, Mr. C, comma. So what car are you taking to the beach? How do I have a crown when I was barely here? That's a good question. Does it reset? Yeah, he's at 850. No, ground squirrels sound like they're screaming. Like they do like a tuk, 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 tuk. They sound like that. This was like a yeah, I don't know. Wildlife. G Jane here to kill all the wildlife. So now we get all the weird wildlife. Have a great weekend, everybody. You mean a peacock? No, I would know what a peacock sounds like. There used to be peacocks here all the time. Those things are dumb as hell. Peacocks are advanced dumb. If you're ever in close proximity to a peacock, just look at the size of its head relative to the size of the rest of its body. There is not a lot of room for brain in a peacock. So, oh man, I thought I had it. We're not there. I'm missing a whole bin. There we go. I do have like the 4 rigs that I took down and are sitting all over benches. She hasn't snuck up on me. None of the deliveries have snuck up on me. Oh, I must say. Thanks for coming by, everybody. I mean, for realsies. A coffee drink is imminent. I'm going to put it down in my still slightly angry belly. I didn't eat. Let me put it to you this way. I didn't eat on Tuesday or Wednesday. And on Thursday, I had a bowl of white rice and 2 eggs. That was all I ate. So in 72 hours, I had 3 cups of tea, 2 Costco latte freezes, a bowl of rice, and 2 eggs. And I can't get on the scale because I would mistakenly tell my wife. I would tell my wife, and then my wife would be like, what? Because I'm a man, and I'm not small, and I probably lost 7 pounds. Like 7 pounds, maybe 9 pounds over the course of those 3.5 days. She would be furious. She'd be furious to know that I had lost that kind of weight simply by having run-of-the-mill intestinal dysphoria. Thank you, RC family! Are the files for the 3D printed link ruler on the Discord? I don't know. Is Matthew still here? Matthew's where I got it. Matthew would know. Oh. Send a message to Matthew, a bunch of numbers, 9 something something. Send him a message on the Discord. He should be able to get you the file. Mine is right here. What? Where? Mine is right here. I had to dirty mine up so that I could read the numbers better. It's not pretty, but I made it myself. Yeah. You prefer the latte freeze over the mocha freeze? 100%. If you're a mocha freeze man, get the latte freeze. The chocolate syrup doesn't add anything. And if you go early in the morning, if you're a Costco executive member and you get in an hour before they open the store to everyone else, you go in there and you get yourself a latte freeze at like 9:30 in the morning. Oh, baby, that thing is strong. Like the machine hasn't whirled it up or something. You get some pep. You get some pep out of a 9:30 latte freeze. And it was the only thing I could eat. Like I could eat it, and it wouldn't anger up my guts. And I felt like, hey, it's calories going in, you know. And I think it sustained me for a couple days drinking Costco latte freezes. You don't have the money to get server right now. You want to get? Oh, Chuck, you sent money, and I don't let my PayPal go to zero. So you sending the money, him sending the money, I will borrow against myself, and we will. I will order that. I will order one of those servos. Yes, Matthew is definitely in the United States of America. He does U.S. Revolt. He is where I get stuff like our good friend the Slonskys. Look at that. Guy knows what he's doing. I hope if I have a small hope in my life, it's that I never have to print anything like this myself. That's why I've got the printerns. That's why I've got the folks to print stuff for me. I print some stuff. I didn't print that. I didn't print this either. That. Magnets. Yeah. I don't want to have to print any of this stuff. Got smaller ones too. I can only handle so much of your 3D printing woes. Hey, you're the one that bought an X-Max. You had all of those choices. You could have bought any number of 3D printers, and you bought the same printer that I have. Therefore, you're never getting free. Yeah, those little Canyon coolers. Now, do they intend us to put like 1 millimeter metal rod through that to actually make it a hinge? Because if so, that's crazy work. Yeah, Susan on Fresh Blocks, we used up. What's the size is the grub screw on the stub axle hex? It will usually be an M3 by 4 or M3 by 5, and it will use a 1.5 millimeter driver. Basically, the same size screw that is on a pinion gear, generally. Not always, but generally. I'm too scared to print TPU. Same. So we ran over a little bit. That's a thing. We do that thing around here. We got, honestly, farther than I would have anticipated, if I'm being completely honest about it. I'm going to order that servo so that I have a servo, because direct power servo opens it up. That will open me up to using the flyweight AG Innovations with the, because I mean, this guy will just plug right in, and then we'll be rocking in the free world. And I will gear it appropriately, and I will choose a tire and that seems appropriate and then we will do it. I use baling wire instead of 1mm rod. All right. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna head inside. I'm gonna sit down for a little while till the wife shows back up, and then we're gonna go get a coffee drink, and hopefully it's not too late so that I don't get super high and then I'm not able to sleep. What am I talking about? I'm falling asleep by 9:30. Huzzah! We're up to 82.4. That's the hottest and I could have turned that thing. It's on low. I could have turned that cooler up to medium. That cooler makes everything possible because it's probably like 106, 107 out on the course right now. So, has anybody figured out how to print Tim Tins yet? As soon as we figure out how to print EVA foam. Thanks so much, everybody. I am genuinely, I feel like I'm in decel. I feel myself decelerating. Boy, that looked really weird coming away from the frame like that. Oh! This doesn't look the same to you? That looks really weird to me because it comes out of the other corner of my eye up on the quick preview. So, thanks so much, everybody. Tune in for all the things. Don't forget, there's a video. I need to get off here. You know why? Because there's a video in 14 minutes. So, if you want to watch that, I won't try to stop you. Thank you to all the donos, all the people who gifted memberships. Thank you to all the people who just decided to spend a chunkier Friday here with me, an idiot in a shed, because we are all, by extension, idiots in a shed. I'll see you again real soon. If you're on the Discord, I'll probably see you within the next 15 minutes or so. You can't escape me. And I'll see you all real soon. Thanks for coming by the canyon. We'll put this back on that. And then we'll do the usual deal. The screen will go blank. And I see there is motion at your front door. Boom! Did we time it? You know we did.